do here is go back.
Brittany.
1, 2, that might be working now. Good evening. Hopefully we're live. Possibly. Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. It is Saturday the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to our American cousins. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day and resting and firing guns and letting off fireworks and all that kind of crazy stuff that you lot do. Obviously us English, slightly more reserved. We just do fireworks. No guns. We're not allowed them. It's against the law. Hopefully you can hear me and see me. The sun is just setting down behind Mub HQ. So the blind is down currently. I'll put the light on shortly, but it's one of those days. Hopefully you're all good. Let's make sure that everything's working. So that is working. Overhead seems to be, yeah, somewhat working. Stream desktop, that appears to be working, and the others we don't care about. So there we go. Back to the main channel. We have a very live mic. Yes, I am extremely live. Matthew Day says, and we still don't know how to make tea. We do. Tea is great. We love tea. Do Americans drink tea? Like builder's tea, like what we have here in the UK? Like Yorkshire tea or...
Strong.
Well, you know.
Builder's tea strong.
Tea with milk. Rather than...
Black tea with milk.
Because, yeah, Americans drink some funny stuff. You have your black coffee, which is weird. Surely if you're drinking coffee, you've got to have sugar and milk in it.
Angel doesn't.
Very strange. You're a strange lot. Hopefully, actually, did I check those are working? I may have did. Did I do that? See if the Stream Deck is working. I've had an absolute nightmare today. Trying to polish a turd is what we're going to be attempting to do in this stream, and it was like a last minute decision because I really did have no idea what to do in the stream, and I know I need to get and do something with this case and actually get rid of it. So this isn't going to pan out particularly well, especially when it looks like the estimated price that I'm going to have to sell this PC for is about £1,000. £1,000? Yes, £1,000, Mike. You read that and heard that right. That's a lot of money for a PC. And it's not necessarily a particularly high-end PC, which is quite scary. So there may be some modifications as we go along. I'm open to suggestions from you lot out there to see what is going to be the best way forward. The best way forward is probably to buy a console, although probably not the ideal time to be talking about consoles at the moment due to the recent goings on with a certain game which shall not be mentioned.
Coincidentally, July the 4th and the revolution was over tea and the tax of it.
Yeah, there you go. Taxing on tea. You Americans get very upset about things.
You just said they don't drink tea.
Well, they don't. They'd rather fight over it. Anyway, Matthew Day says, get some sun. I have got a lot of sun. Not as much as normal. Semrab question, did Tim decide in the end about his PC restored? Yes, Tim has, he came over to our place on Monday, I think it was, or Tuesday, I can't remember now. Monday. Seen it all working, and since then, he's decided, well, actually, whilst he was here, we did do what we kind of thought we were going to do, and that is his 1 terabyte NVMe drive was partitioned pretty poorly, so we downloaded some software from EaseUS and repartitioned the drive to make use of the wasted space that was on the drive. So that expanded the drive to give it a little bit more longevity. The drive itself with his data on seemed to be okay, even though it had those weird pins. So what he's done since the stream he's bought a 2 terabyte NVMe, installed that, then he's taken some of the data off of the mechanical drive and put it onto there, and has basically done a bit of data management and taken the drive with the dodgy connector out of the PC, put it into a caddy, so that way it's not going to really get moved around at all, and it seems to be working. So yeah, he's increased his storage quite considerably, and he's very happy. Well, at least I think he is. He seems to be. So yeah, it's all good. J Rich, diskless gaming. Yeah, it's been quite a funny one. I know that there's going to be some of you, and I've noticed in the Discord as well. I'll put a link for Discord if you want to join Discord. I've been noticing in the Discord that some of you have been getting very irate about the GTA 6 not coming with physical discs. And I can see two sides of the story. However, I would actually be as bold to say that I would think that it's actually a sensible decision not having physical media. Because, like, it's going to be a massive game. Potentially closer or around 200 gigabytes. So if they put it onto Blu-rays, I will let one of you out there do the math, as you Americans do, or mathematics if you're in the UK, and tell me how many Blu-ray discs that would be for the base game installation, not including any kind of day one or subsequent fixes, patches, etc., etc., which, yes, you'll have to download because they won't be on the discs. So digital media, I think, is potentially the better way of doing it.
They need to have a way that you actually own it.
Yeah.
So you can download it on somebody else's computer if you want to play it.
The licensing of it is the kind of the bane of it. And as we've become a more digital society with passwords and usernames and PlayStation accounts, Xbox accounts, etc., it's,
we don't want that, do we? It's been enforced on us.
Do we or do we not? I don't know.
I liked it when I could just do it all.
Yeah. There's some, I can see there's some reasons why it makes sense, but I can see some reasons why it doesn't as well. It is quite handy, like especially for us PC gamers. You log into things like Steam or Epic or one of the other kind of game distributions sites, and it's great. You can just log in your Steam account on another PC and you can download and play all of your games on another PC, which is kind of great. It works really well, and you don't have to install physical media. I kind of like that, but also I can understand that when it gets to the point where some companies maybe lose the rights to a certain franchise, or in the case of what has happened recently with PlayStation with online games, it's been a little bit problematic. So yes, does that work? Yes, it is. So I can understand both sides of it, although I think the reality is digital media is the future, whether we like it or not. I'm actually on the kind of the side where I am more erring towards digital, primarily because some of you remember when Flight Simulator 2020 came out in 2020 or 21, whenever it was, I bought the DVD version thinking, yes, that would be nice to have some digital media. And I managed to scuff disc one. So yeah, physical media. And I managed to scuff disc one. So that is all useless now. Fortunately, being that it is a Microsoft game and I actually registered it with Xbox Gaming, I can log into my Xbox Gaming account and I can install the game completely without the need for the physical discs. So what would have been 70 quid worth of getting down the drain, I've still got access to.
But you should be more careful.
Should be more careful, but the thing is, DVD discs and Blu-rays, CD-ROMs, etc., they're all shit.
You could do anything with them and they'd still work.
That was the original ones. The subsequent manufacturing processes have made DVDs, CDs, and Blu-rays very, very weak and very susceptible to damage, and not very resilient to heat either, which is a bad thing again in a console or a PC. So yeah. Obviously, in terms of, like Glenn says there, it is a smart business move. It definitely is. Like, imagine how much more expensive a game like GTA would be if you had to also pay for the physical media and the transportation of said media. Clearly, they're not going to swallow those costs. We will end up paying those. No, but it would be more expensive. It's still like the best part of 100 quid for like the kind of decent version. There's a cut down version, I think, which is about 80 or 70. Yeah, so yeah, it's oh dear, it's a strange one. I honestly don't understand why a lot of console gamers are getting really upset about it, especially when like
they probably take their console round someone else, or take their game round someone else's house to play it, and then they can't if they're...
Yeah, but they've still got to sign into their account on someone else's machine.
What, on a disc?
Yeah.
So the problem is signing into accounts then, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also the physical media. Like, you cannot get... There isn't a piece of physical media available on the market at the moment which is cost effective and resilient enough to actually distribute the size of these games. We've got to a point where games and the textures and the basically the entire
but to me, that
stuff is
because it just takes too long to load, and like The Sims, I always had it just in little mode because otherwise it took too long, and I'd just build it all outside the house because it took too long to load to go upstairs.
I get it.
I prefer The Sims 1
yeah,
because it was just easy.
We should go back to The Sims 1.
Yeah.
Ideally, I think it would have been probably a good idea if you purchased a digital version that they give you a USB drive, like a 256 gig USB drive, which isn't massively expensive, especially if you're buying in bulk, with the game files on it. I think that would have been maybe a paid option. So if you want a physical media, there's a USB disc or USB drive with it on there, and it being like a read-only disc or something. That, I guess, is a possibility, but realistically, the new people will just buy it because they want to play it, and whatever happens. Viali says, my Blu-ray collection is spotless, not a single fingerprint on any. That's very good. I can't imagine ever being like that myself.
That's why you got a scuffed disc.
Yeah. So anyway, hello to everybody who's joined us. Thank you very much for joining us. Got to see lots of familiar faces there. So I'm glad you're all with us. And yeah, tonight is going to be an interesting one. Also, I have got some deconstruction to do because some of the stuff actually on this motherboard I do need to take off and potentially reuse in the build, because obviously I'm not a millionaire and we don't have lots and lots of parts. So I do have to do a little bit of a teardown of this. This little rig that I built up has been for doing some tutorials on the new Lian Li Flex fans, which are due out next Friday. Currently they're under embargo, so I can't really show you them or do anything with them, but I think a lot of people that have been a little bit scared of going down the Lian Li fan route because of L-Connect and all that kind of stuff, I think you're really going to like the new Flex options. It does open up the ecosystem quite considerably, and they're extremely cool fans. No pun intended. They are very cool, and there's loads of options. They are still pricey as all hell because they're Lian Li fans, and well, you know that works. But it's very interesting. Even the I did a kind of a tutorial on how to connect them up, and the introduction and explaining how it works took about 10 minutes, and then the second part of the video where I'm actually showing you how to connect it physically to your motherboard is about another 10 minutes. So it's 20 minutes of me waffling about these fans, which goes somewhere to showing you how complex they actually are. And this was with the PC even turned off. I didn't even go into the software. That's got to come in another video. So yeah, the Lian Li videos are always quite popular. I think people are genuinely interested on one side of the coin, and others have this kind of slight kind of curiosity that they'll probably never be able to afford to buy them, but they're quite interested to see what they're all about. So it does speak to quite a lot. What's that white tower? This is a very cheap cooler. This is the Thermalright Assassin X120 SE RGB white. Oh, refined. I forgot to say refined. Isn't that a stupid name? Assassin X120 Refined SE White ARGB. Like, could they have made the name any longer? I don't think they could. But yeah, that's got to come off of there. I might even need the processor. Actually, no, I don't need the processor because that is an Intel motherboard. An Intel motherboard in 2026 with an Intel processor. Who'd have thought it? It's a cooler. You're absolutely right, Rick. It very much is. Charles Ballard's with us as well, and Shrek's with us. Who else? Aletta, how you doing, Aletta? Rally is with us. Mark Gaines, I think I saw just now. LoadX3, Saga. Loads of you in the chat. Excellent stuff. Glad to see you all joining us this Saturday. I really should get started, shouldn't I? I've actually treated myself this week. Well, technically I haven't treated myself. The business has treated itself to an iPad. So I now have an iPad, so I can actually keep an eye on some of the things which are going on. I thought I was going to be able to keep an eye on the chat, but I don't think I can from here. So I'm going to try. I think I can get the live chat up on here, so I don't have to keep on looking over on that screen when I'm building. There's the live chat. I can see it. Excellent. However long that's going to stay on there, I do not know, but how can I make the live chat bigger? There must be a way of doing it. I have no idea. iPads, new technology. Pretty cool though. I actually managed to get it really cheap on eBay. It was another one of those eBay moments where they have some silly sales on at times where they have like 20 or 25% off things for just because. And the iPads, about 2 days before, had actually been increasing in price. Apple had announced that all the prices were going up across the range apart from phones. So iPads went from, I think, $329 to $369 or something. So they're 50 quid more expensive now. Bizarrely, there was a company selling them brand new in box, and they had them listed as $329, I think it was, or $309. But there was a discount as well, so I got it for $260. So I was really pleased with that. It was great. Because Kath's iPad that I bought her for Christmas.
Not for Christmas.
Oh,
it was for love.
It was just because I love her very much. I bought that for £309, just around Christmas time, I think. Was it? Did I not give you it for Christmas?
No, it wasn't for Christmas.
It was just a gift.
Yeah.
Because I'm that kind of guy.
And it was around March time months, isn't it?
And it wasn't even a business write-off. I don't think, was it? Or did we?
Maybe
We might have wrote down.
Because it's for the business, isn't it?
It is business use. Kath's using it for business purposes. Not using it for social media or for watching videos at all, obviously.
Not for my German medicine course at all.
Yeah, nothing like that whatsoever. Anyway, moving on. So, I suppose I should get started. Let's get some lights in there, because this is very strange working in the dark.
You could open blind for an hour.
Oh, God,
More.
no. Hey, Maisie.
Open him up.
Is that going to do? I don't think it is.
Well, not if you're doing anything technical, but just if you leave it open though.
It's a bit broken there, blind. It's not winding up properly. Oh, that'll do. Right, let's put a little bit of extra light on just to be on the safe side. That might do. We'll see. Is that any brighter? Any better?
No, I don't know what I've done. I've done that.
Can't see a thing now. I'm aching today. Very much. See if I can see. Yes, I can see the chat. Just about. Hey ho. Oh dear. Here we go. Yawning already. I hate it when I get like that. Don't know what it is. I think it's because I've been working hard all day, and now I've got to the point where it's kind of 8 o'clock, and it should be wind down time. And then now I'm just gearing up to do a stream. No rest for the weary, they say.
Makes it earlier in the day. Who would like it earlier?
Who would like the stream earlier in the day? Who would like it sort of midday here, UK time? So 8 hours earlier, that would be, roughly. Let us know in the comments. A dinner time stream. That'd be quite an interesting one.
Yes, Rick H, I think women's place is in the kitchen.
Shrek says, I like that Apple raised prices officially rather than silently and then pointing the finger at the retailers. Yeah. Wolfman says the sun comes out at 4 AM. It does here. Most mornings.
Wolfman's in Ireland, the same-ish.
Yeah. There's an advert playing on my iPad. Yay, ad revenue. Yeah, anyway. Sorry, it has been a long day. My brain was absolutely like
Working as it should.
doing overtime trying to work out all the specs of the fans on the Lian Li video. They are some seriously cool fans. I've actually ordered another case as well. I've ordered an O11 Mini V2 in white, and the idea is going to be that I'm going to replace the PC behind me, the black monstrosity, the Thermaltake one. It's been there for a long time. I actually do quite like it, but it is a little bit big and a little bit just takes up a lot of room. It just darkens the whole place. So potentially I am going to ditch that. That is my plan, at least anyway. Oh, that was a very nice spread of the thermal pasta. Did well. That is some Intel Z890 chipset for anyone who's interested. O'Reilly says, ooh, when do you get the O11 mini case? Should be soon. Shipping. Is shipping? Shipping soon. Coming to a store near you. Yeah, should be very soon. So there'll be multiple videos on that. So I'll do an unboxing video. I'll probably do a tour of it in the stream. The O11 Mini V2 is a strange beast, actually. It's a really nice case and it's really, really inexpensive. But there are some little gotchas about it, which I've been looking into, and I've got a sneaking suspicion I have royally screwed myself by getting it. But that's the whole challenge of PC building, isn't it? It's all part of that kind of the game that we play. The reason I say it is because the Lian Li O11 Mini V2 is an ATX case, but it's compact. And in order to make it slightly more compact, they've made it so that there's only 5 PCIe slots on the back. So, first one, if you have a motherboard where your GPU slot is at the very top above your M.2, like they used to be, you are a little bit screwed because you have to move the motherboard down a little bit. But because for me, with that particular PC behind me, I've got a capture card at the bottom which captures all the camera stuff, and that is in the very bottom slot. So if I count up from that slot, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starts halfway down the graphics card. So my choice would be, do I have a graphics card or do I have a capture card? Now for streaming PC, the graphics card isn't entirely necessary, but it looks weird without one. So yeah, I've got to possibly look for another motherboard. And there's a few that I've got kind of in the periphery, so I might change the motherboard out as well. But we'll see. But yeah, it's a strange one because the fans at the bottom are kind of on a 10-degree incline, is that? Yeah, incline or ramp. So that takes up that slot, bottom slot, which is a real pain. I wish they just left the fans flat and give you the extra slot. I've got a sneaking suspicion that you can remove the fan mounts at the bottom. So potentially there might be a way that I can remove the fan mount and just put fans in on the base. But I haven't seen it in person, so we'll see what happens. I am determined that I'm going to get a Lian Li case in the background, because it's been the Thermaltake now in the background for what? It's got to be nearly 4 years that we've had a Thermaltake case in the background, because we had the S370 or something we had at one point. We had the Series 500, which was there for a very long time, and now we've got that one, the View 390. And yeah, I just think it's time for a little bit of a change. And I really do like these new Lian Li fans. I think they're very, very cool. And they've got LCD screens on them in the middle as well. So I can keep an eye on temperatures and stuff without needing to have like screens everywhere. So, although I probably will have screens as well, because why not? Kath doesn't like them. She thinks they look stupid.
Why do you need them all?
You don't need them all. But it's like cars, isn't it? It's like putting spoilers and go faster stripes on a car.
Yeah, and you did it on my Escort estate, like, hello.
Yeah, it's true. It's just a means of overcompensating, isn't it? Because if you haven't got the most,
on wheels, it's never going to go any faster.
if you haven't got the fastest PC, you can certainly make it look like it might be. Ordinary Dude says, if you use add-in cards other than a normal size GPU, you need an ATX, unless you can add stuff externally. Yeah. Dutch John says, insert the capture card in the top slot and no GPU. That might work. But I do like to have a GPU. Some of you may notice, actually, the PC behind me has a new GPU. The RX 480 is gone. It's been relegated back into the box. Bad card. Stay in there. You use far too much power.
Don't waste that power on screens.
Yeah, I'll waste that power on RGB. Thank you very much. Does RGB make your PC go faster? No, but it takes your mind off it. Yeah, so
Your local councillor.
the graphics card in there, I've actually downgraded quite significantly. For a good reason. It was a very, very good deal. This was on Amazon, and we also posted it into our Discord, which you could check out. It is a MSI RTX 5060 Ti 8GB OC edition, but it's the gaming trio. So it's the 3-fan model. It's got a little bit of RGB on it as well, a bit of RGB on the end. And I've got to say, I've done some benchmarks on it this week, and it's actually a great card. I really like it. And it was £260, I think it was, which is basically the same price as what normal 5060s go for. So it's one of those like great Amazon deals. So I thought, what the hell, I'm going to give it a go. And yeah, I'm very impressed. I've been playing all the games that I normally play in the benchmarks, and it wasn't rubbish. I was expecting an 8GB card to be absolutely horrendous, because I haven't used an 8GB card as a daily driver for a very, very, very long time. I've had 12GB cards, I've had 16GB cards. I haven't had an 8GB card for a very long while in that PC. I think the last one was probably like a 5700 XT. I think that was the last 8GB card I had in there. And yeah, it's been great. So the 8GB thing isn't as bad as we think it is. And I'll say, I'm one of the people that actually said that as well. I was playing 1440p and 4K. I just didn't even bother with trying 1080p, because obviously it's going to do 1080p. That's pretty much a given. But 1440p with either medium or high presets, and it was absolutely great. No stuttering to speak of. Frame rates were excellent. Frame times were excellent. It was just a really nice experience. I thought it was going to be utter shit. I really did. I thought I was going to be polishing more than one turd this week, but it seems I didn't need to. And for like 260 quid, I think it was cracking. So yeah, very pleased with that. And also it's lower wattage, so 175 watt card maximum TDP, whereas the 4080 was like 320 watts. So it's generating less heat in the room. It's also using less when it's under load, etc. I've also noticed my CPU is running just slightly cooler as well. So that's probably where there's less heat building up in the case, affecting the AIO, etc, etc. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that overall. Can't believe it. I'm actually kind of not recommending, but I am recommending. I am recommending an 8 gig card. Mind you, the way the market is at the moment for PC stuff, like realistically, just buy whatever is available because it's all a bit of a mess. Now, I need to write on here what is on here. Actually, this drive is a 256 gig. That's Windows 11 on there. So let me get my little P-Touch machine. Not like the one that... Oh, no, I'm not going to say that. We're not going to start doing the Gary Glitter jigs yet. I don't even know if the batteries are working in this thing. Oh, that says mem test on there, so delete, 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 delete. And we'll type in there. These are great if you haven't got one. Very handy, especially for boxes and for just little things that you're not too sure what they are, just so you can label them. Print, copy is one. Thank you, much appreciated. I do love a P-Touch. Well, actually, is that... No, that's a... Is the brother the P-Touch? No, they call that the... Oh, it was P-Touch, yeah. Brother did the P-Touch, didn't they? That was their thing. Brother.
No, you do the...
Huh?
Brother.
Brother?
You do that thing, don't you?
Brother, ooh. Brother, ooh.
You're getting it at all, and I thought already stupid.
Brother, ooh. Get the cheaper version on Amazon. The other one, like Nimbot or something. There's a Nimbot brand which do like a labeling machine. I have got one. It's over there. It cost me a tenner. Used it once. Didn't like it at all. I like the P-Touch because it's got a keyboard and stuff. And you don't have to plug it into an app. Ordinary dude, my daily driver is my Mac Mini M4 Pro. I like the Macs. Won't be long now, really, until macOS 27 comes out. Not really sure if I'm looking forward to that or not. I really wish they would get rid of the liquid glass thing. Liquid glass just reminds me of Windows XP so much. Not Windows XP, sorry, Windows Vista. Where they added Aero glass, didn't they? And it was just awful. And I don't think I've ever fully recovered from that experience. These labels have got to be so old. These labels must be like 10 years old. And they are still somewhat sticky, but not particularly. So let's put that on there, Windows 11. And you're probably wondering, Mike, why are you doing that? Why are you putting a Windows 11 sticker on your drive? Well, there is actually a very good reason. I'm not completely insane. A little bit. But I have got another drive here, which is almost exactly the same. And that says Windows 10. Because it's got... Yeah, it has got Windows 10 on it. I was thinking it might actually have Linux on it, but I don't think it has. I'll leave those there. Stay. We're all good. Right. You can tell it's been a long day today. And I was up very early. I was up at 3:30 this morning. Needed to go to the toilet. I couldn't get back to sleep very well. And then,
When did you really get up?
then I woke up about 6 or 7.
And then you got up about
And then got up about
11.
half 10.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was knackered. Right, I need a box. Can't believe it's like almost 9 o'clock and we've not even started the bloody build yet.
And you're on moony mood.
No surprises. Is what it is. 3/4 of an hour. Sheesh. So we'll put that away. I am tempted actually when I get the new Lian Li. This motherboard might actually go in there, and I might just forego the capture card. This is an Intel platform, and it's got the Intel 245K in it, which actually for streaming purposes and just for doing like tutorials on that computer, it's going to be absolutely fine. My only consideration then is what graphics card to get. So if I go with AMD, I'll use my 9060 XT, the pure one from Sapphire. Actually, I could put the small board in there as well. There's too many decisions to be made. It's very annoying.
You are actually ahead on time.
Right. Thank you. Right then. Where should we start? Actually, just have a look, see if I've missed anything in the chat. Dutch Jan says, I'm not crazy. I'm an aeroplane. You might be.
You say aeroplane.
Aeroplane. Airplane.
Airplane.
Yeah, is it airplane or aeroplane?
Because we say aeroplane, don't we?
Yeah.
I was looking at it and it looks like we should say airplane.
It should be an airplane, but it's also an aeroplane. What's the difference between an airplane and an aeroplane?
And then Angel's been asking me about blimps.
Blimps?
Do you know what they are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a blimp.
Why we don't have
I'm going to
one of
ask
those?
Google. Google. Yeah, you can use my microphone. What is the difference between an airplane and an aeroplane?
You said them both the same.
There's no difference between an airplane and an aeroplane. Both refer to a powered fixed-wing flying vehicle. The only difference is regional spelling. Airplane is the standard American English term, while aeroplane is the traditional British English spelling. So it's the bloody Americans again. God damn it.
But we spell it that way, don't we? Airplane.
Yeah.
Or do we spell it like aerospace?
Yeah, a bit of that. I tell you what, this new iPad, the new operating system on it is lush. With the, you do the, what's it called, the flicky thing up from the bottom, and you got like little tabs and stuff. So it basically is like a Mac, rather than being like a phone. So you can do various different size apps and stuff, and you can basically use it as a desktop if you put a keyboard and mouse on it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
So mine's not the same as that then?
No, you're on the older one. You are still on
Old operating system,
16, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Half-Life's the older one.
Mine's better.
Yours is better, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's pink.
Oh, it's pink as well, so even better. Which iPad is that, Mike? The Pro? Don't be daft. No, I can't afford Pro. That's just the A16. Is it 256 gig? I have no idea. But it's whatever the current version is. I think it's A16. The 2026 or 2025 version, whatever. But it's cool. I like it. I was a bit gutted. Actually, there was one thing which I'm a bit peeved about, because I was hoping that I could interact with the chat a little bit easier with it on there. But apparently, if you install Chrome onto an iPad, you cannot install Chrome extensions. And our chat interaction thing works with the Chrome extension. So, actually, I sent you that link earlier so you can do the clearing thing. If you go to Discord, and sorry, we're just testing something here, ladies and gentlemen. There should be a link there, so if you open that, I don't know whether you actually have to have the plugin installed. You shouldn't need to, because you're on the same account.
Not doing anything, is it?
No, maybe you can't then. No, maybe not. Anyway,
All you've done is make my chat.
I make things worse.
You made my live one go all behind.
Viali says it doesn't matter which one it is, it's still Apple trash. How dare you? I do like Apple devices. I think there's room in this world for Apple devices and PC devices. I think they all have their own special qualities and conveniences which make them desirable. one thing about Apple stuff is, in terms really, is longevity, I suppose. They do tend to keep the products updated for a very long time. I've still got my Apple Watch, which is the, I want to say second or third generation, and it still works. It still works fine. I can still synchronize it and do everything with it. Yeah, that is, it's got to be at least probably 10 years old.
2016 you bought it.
Yeah, 2016 I bought it, yeah.
No,
Because I bought it at the same time as I bought the XR.
2019 it was.
Was it?
Because
2019.
2020 Christmas you gave me my iPhone. But we bought it in October, didn't we?
Alright, so...
Because you paid loads of money for your XR.
Whose
And
news
then we
that?
got a good deal on mine.
Yeah.
But I didn't want it till Christmas.
Ordering Dude says, I plan to use my Mac for a decade. Yeah. You should be able to easily. Nice one, stretchable. Rasher says, I like the way Americans simplify English language. Look at the word maneuver is spelled. I've never looked into that one. Alessa says, I'm curious how Google can hear me, but they always know what I'm searching for on the first letter I type. Oh, I know. I hate it, the fact that these devices are all listening to you, and you just have a discussion about something, then you go onto Facebook or something, and like, oh, it appears in my feed like magic. But I've also had it
Where you don't even have to say
where
it
I've
out
not even say it out loud. I've just been thinking something, and the tinfoil hat didn't block the transmission, and somehow it's on my phone. What I was thinking of, and it's like, that's weird. Anyway.
We even did it, didn't we, where we wrote it down. You wrote it down to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote something down on a bit of paper and give it to Kath, what I was thinking, and it still come up. It's like, man, that's messed up. Whereas Mike Tyson would say, that's messed up.
That's about Breaking Bad.
It is.
That show's messed up.
Messed up. Gentleman Bad Boy says, I still got my first and second gen watch and iPhone X. Yeah, the iPhone X came out a little bit before the XR. The XR came out as a cheaper version of the X with very similar hardware. I love my XR. It's great. I've still got it upstairs. I need to wipe it, actually.
We've still got our handy.
Yeah, we've also still got, this is a bit of a blast from the past, the Tandy, what do they call this? Appointment Directory Calculator. So it's basically a calculator, an address book, a scheduler, and well, a calculator as well. And I think it still works. Where's the on button?
No, it doesn't. It don't have a battery.
I know.
We
bought some batteries to do a video to get it up and running again.
And we never did it.
Scary stuff. What a cool piece of kit. We had two of those, didn't we? You had one, I had one.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to mine. Broke it, probably.
Probably scuffed it like the CD.
Matthew Day says, just looked up. Orion browser supports extensions. Ah. Are they, well, I can look into it later, but are they Chrome-based extensions? Letter says, same here, Mike. Maybe we think too loud. Maybe it is. Maybe the electrical impulses in our brain are actually detectable. There is a weird story. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, so bear with me. This is definitely into tinfoil chrome head type scenario areas. But apparently, Wi-Fi devices can work almost like Batman's sonar. So from your Wi-Fi device, they can essentially map out the room and surrounding rooms. Now, I don't know how far they can do it because Wi-Fi doesn't pass through walls very well. So I guess there is a limitation, but I'm assuming if you're like adjacent to your router and you're doing some moonwalking, for example.
Airwalking, you got to learn.
Airwalking or moonwalking, whichever suits you. Potentially somebody could see that somehow. So, I don't know. Apparently it's a thing. I don't know. Dutch Chance says, why are you watching on an iPad with a tiny screen when you have a 27-inch monitor? Yeah, what I want is just the chat on the iPad in large text. That's what I was aiming to get. Because at the moment I've got it on there, just text on the side of the screen, but it's really awkward when I'm doing a build or something, or I've got something on the desk and there's chat there and I can't see it. So now, hopefully, when we get into this build and I can't see that screen any longer, I can, I can put my, oh, that's shit. I'll put it like that and hopefully I can still see it. How can I make that bigger? Rub it vigorously. Can you change the size of the text on the iPad here so this is bigger? Stretch Ace View? No.
I think in settings you can change it, can't you?
But I don't know whether it would affect that text. Let's try it. I'll try it because it is going to be useful. So accessibility probably. And zoom, no. Display and text size. So
extra large you want.
Extra larger text. Let's do that. That's currently off, so I'll set that to on and we'll zoom that right up. Whoa! And let's go back to my screen and it's done nothing.
You can split the chat from the streaming machine with OBS.
Yeah. Let's change that. Larger text sizes, no, just stick it as standard. Actually a bit bigger. That'll do. What are you doing?
Chicken.
Chicken? What are you on about? Yeah, I can't. Oh, actually, there's a settings there. Chat moderator. No, I don't want to do that.
Your case looks a little wonky.
Whatever. My case is a bit wonky because it's a bit flexy. Anyway, I'll stick that over there. I definitely won't be able to read that. Is that definitely in the way? Yep, it is absolutely in the way.
I don't get
I'll
it.
put it down.
Still, back in the day, all screens had to be bigger, and now they are. People still watch everything on a tiny little screen.
Yeah, I know, it's madness, isn't it? Right, let's get this motherboard built, shall we? For goodness sakes. I muted something there. Oh no, I paused it. Oh, why is YouTube Studio such an annoying place?
Glass, someone said, but why don't you get one of those little...
A monocle?
Yeah. That looks so cool.
Get a monocle Lewinsky.
Mic.
Right.
Monocle mics unboxing.
Starting off, we'll be using this motherboard here. This is the B650 Eagle AX. One of my favourite low-cost motherboards for AM5. It's got pretty much everything you want and, yeah, very cheap. This one was also an eBay bot bargain from our Discord. And this was, I believe, £67. They originally wanted 80 and it was like, or best offer, so I offered them 60 something and they accepted, so I was very pleased with it. And I think we had a look at this one in the previous stream, didn't we, to see if the pins were bent, and I think it was fine. I'm getting last week's stream and the week before stream confused now because that was with Tim's board where the pins were slightly pissed, but this one is pretty much fine, and essentially it is kind of as new, albeit someone has obviously been in here. I have a sneaking suspicion this was a warranty replacement because it looks like it's had a new socket put in it, because there's a piece of cardboard in the socket to protect the pins rather than a traditional plastic cap. And there was no accessories other than the Wi-Fi antennas, which is quite often what happens if you do a warranty replacement. You send the board back, keep all your accessories, and then they send you another board. That's kind of generally how it works.
Which part of this build is the turd we're polishing? The case?
The case. We're trying to make the case somewhat desirable to people with brains. So, yeah, it may not entirely work out to that. This PC effectively has got to, well, based on the parts I'm choosing, it needs to earn me £1,000 when I sell it. And that's just to break even, which is obviously, as a business owner now, even though it was before, as a business owner, the idea is to not break even. The idea is to actually make some profit so that when you have to pay your incorporation taxes and PAYE taxes and all that kind of stuff, national insurance, pensions, all that kind of bullshit, you make some profit so you can actually afford to do those things as well. Potentially that may not be the case. So we'll see how things go. Anyway, yeah, motherboard wise looks absolutely fine. All the bits and pieces appear to be in place. Luckily on this board it's got the M.2 little plastic plugs which you kind of pull out and push back in, so there's no screws that were lost, so that is excellent. I don't really like this setup, but at least it means it's hard to lose the little things. But on the flip side of that, it's actually quite hard to get them to stick in as well. So yeah, nice little board. You got PCI Express Gen 4 top slot, I believe, and probably Gen 4 on the SAT M.2. Actually, I'm not too sure off the top of my head. I have to. Oh no. Yeah, PCI Express M.2 slot, so that is a ×5 for the M.2, and does it say PCI Express is Gen 4? So not brilliant, but Gen 4 is fine. It's got Wi-Fi 6E, which is good because this is AX, so that's fine. Only got Gigabit LAN, which is a little bit disappointing, but other than that, it looks fine. But you can see there is the piece of cardboard which is covering up the slot there, or the socket. So yeah, very strange. Cat hair, don't want that. Let's put the overhead camera on, I think, and we'll possibly zoom in a little. If I can find my little zoom in tool. Zoom, zoom, zoom. There we go. So, this is going to have 32 gigs of RAM. The graphics card at the moment is going to be the Intel ARGB 580, which I know is going to go against it, but I'm going to keep my eyes out for something to replace that with. But as a placeholder, that'd be fine. What CPU should we use in this particular build? I've got 3 real options. Ryzen, let's just go back to the main camera. I've got the option of a Ryzen 7 7700 non-X. I've got a Ryzen 7 7700X, and I've got a 9600X. All of which, I think the 7700 cost me 140. The 7700X cost me like a ridiculous amount of money because I bought it when it came out. But realistically, they probably go for about 140, 150 at the moment. Or the 9600X, which I think I paid 120 for, because it was an AliExpress special. So I'm in a few different minds of what to physically put in here. Again, looking at the graphics card, looking at how much we've got to essentially get back on this build, I don't know which one to go for. I'm almost tempted to put a 7800X3D in here. So I did pick up one of those for £167. So potentially there's a little bit of wiggle room for that, but I don't know if the 7800X3D is going to be enough of a crowd puller to sell this PC, or whether I kind of hedge my bet somewhat and maybe go with the 7700. The 7700X is one which I would like to get rid of because I don't like that CPU. It just runs really hot and it's hard to keep cool, but we are putting a water cooler in here, so that isn't going to be as much of a problem. So let me know, what are your thoughts in the chat? Mikey P says 77X3D. 9600X says Alpha Indigo. Yeah, I actually got it right that time.
It doesn't sound right now.
Zero Defects, 7700. 7700X3D sounds good. It does. Matthew Day says I wouldn't pair the X3D with the Intel. That is a concern, certainly. Mike says I'm doing a 7800X3D build as I watch the stream. Excellent, hope it goes well for you. Zero Defect says 7700X then if you want to get rid and you have an AIO. I think that is probably the best idea. I think the 7700X is a very good call. And it means I can get rid of a box off the shelf. because this was actually bought new from Amazon. Well, I say new, it was Amazon resale when I bought it. I'm sure I paid like £350 for this at the time. I'm tempted to look it up. It would be frightening, but yeah. It is a 7700X. It's quite good actually, 5.4 gigahertz boost. So potentially you can get this to do quite well. I think this is going to be a good idea. So let's go to the overhead, and we will unlatch the cardboard beast. I do like the fact that they put some cardboard in there. Whether or not it was, oh, it's from a Weetabix box by the look of it. I should have said actually, can anyone work out what that box was? But it's kind of, isn't that good how well advertising works? I'm not sure. Probably is now, yeah. Oh, what was happening there? Ooh, must have had some glue in there or something.
Probably scuffed it up with the old discs.
Bloody discs. Right, 7700X. No, 7700X.
Scuffed up and in.
There we go. That's a nice CPU. It's got plenty of grunt, and for modern games it's fine. 8 cores, 16 threads, 5.4 gigahertz boost. Nice. I think it's got a 4.5 base clock as well. Yeah, 4.5 base. 40 megs of cache. Living the dream. The dream where you're buying expensive processors and getting back basically no money. However, in the grand scheme of things, it was purchased under the old regime, which doesn't exist anymore, so technically it's me that's losing here. Yeah, that's the point. Oh, for God's sakes, get back in the box. This is going to be an awkward one when it comes to the finances, because technically the processor is mine. The motherboard is owned by the business. The CPU is owned by me. The RAM's owned by the business. The case is owned by me. Oh dear, it's going to be a tax nightmare. I just have to forget everything I own, I think. It's probably the easiest way.
Own nothing and be happy.
Own nothing and be happy. That is exactly where I'm going to be. Right, RAM. We might also do RAM since we've got it here. So this is Corsair Vengeance DDR5. 32 gig kit, 5600 mega transfers, and this is CL36, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, C36. So not the fastest, but obviously, unless you've been living under a rock, you know what the deal is with RAM at the moment. Beggars cannot be choosers. So this is what it's going to be. Sadly, there was some other RAM that I bought on eBay, which appeared to be a good deal from a company with actually a lot of feedback, and it would appear that they have done a runner. So yeah, that's not been great. However, eBay are on the case, and they have offered to step in if the supplier doesn't sort it out within a couple of days. And they've actually said on their page that they're away for a month, so I'm guessing they're never coming back. Right, don't need that anymore. O'Reilly says, sell the stuff to the business for £1, then the business sells the complete system for a large profit. The thing is, it's a weird thing with if you put things of your own personal possessions that you've bought into a business, you can do it as like a director's loan. So you would take the approximate market value of whatever that is, so say £150 for the 7700X. I could call that a director's loan, and then at some point in the distant future I could then take that money out of the business tax-free, which I potentially might do, but it's a little bit messy, so I'll see what happens. I think that probably is the best way forward, that I will transfer, like things like the camera that we used, the PC behind me, everything that we use for business purposes, I can transfer as a business or a director's loan or business thing. I can transfer it from myself to the business and then pay myself back at a later date, tax-free, effectively. So it's kind of
Mucky.
neither here nor there really.
Business.
Crypto says, didn't you see my comment? No, I didn't. Kath didn't either. Didn't tell me.
Sorry.
Rubbish. You have to sack her ass. When was your comment, Crypto? What time did you put your comment?
It's got a wave. Oh, 7700X and the 480 32 gig RAM equals 1500 plus.
Where is that? What
That
time?
I don't know if that is the comment now. I wouldn't have called that up as a comment because it's got no question mark. 911.
9/11.
Ops.
Hey, 50. If I did the Crypto, if I did the 7700X and the 4080 with 32 gigs of RAM for 1500 quid plus, I would probably be doing myself down with that, I think, because the 4080 should really get me more than 500 quid. But saying that, if it comes to it, I will do it. I'll just put the 4080 in there and say, right, okay, I'm done with it. Let's move on.
Is that the comment he's all on about?
I think if that's the comment you're on about, yeah. Model Citizen says, it sounds like you want to use the 7700. I kind of do, really. Matthew Day says, paperwork makes my brain hurt. It does. I've got an accountant, and it still makes my brain hurt.
But it's early days.
It is early days.
And we don't know really what we do.
Now, this is where I've got another dilemma. When it comes to the SSD, what do I put in here? If I want to come in at under £1,000 or £1,000-ish, I have to put in a 1 terabyte drive, which I would then have to buy because I don't have one on hand at the moment.
No,
Or at least I
yet.
do, but it's in use in the computer. Those, if you buy now, somewhere between £60 to £100, depending on what brand you get and what drive it is. I did manage to pick up a couple of 2 terabyte drives from eBay quite cheaply. So potentially there's a little bit of wiggle room in there for me to make some money, or at least to break even. Crypto says, I think it's more likely to sell quicker with a 4080 than an Intel. It definitely would sell quicker with a 4080, but I don't know. With a 4080, I suppose if I put a 2 terabyte drive in and a 4080 and put it up for like 1600 quid, that might do it. That might do it. You never know. That's the trouble now. It's such a dilemma. It really is. I bought the 2 terabyte drives. They were Crucial P3s, and I got those for about 125 quid for 2 terabytes. So, like, that isn't that far off of being like 60 quid each for a terabyte, which is almost reasonable pricing. So, if I put a 2 terabyte in, I could then say maybe make 30 quid. Say they're worth 150, and it looks better on paper, but I would love to put a 1 terabyte drive in. So I think I might put a 2 terabyte drive in for now, with the view to maybe swapping out a 1 terabyte drive from my video editing PC, which doesn't really get used, and put it in here. Another option I've got is I've got a 512 drive, but I think putting a 512 drive in a £1,000-ish computer isn't great, is it? Saying that, Steam managed to do it, so hey. And only 16 gigs of RAM. This has got 32. So this is definitely a Steam machine obliterator for the same money. Alpha Indigo says, personally, I would sell stuff separate. You will make more on delivering. There is that to it, but
You lose time.
yeah, it's the time and effort required to list everything and go through all the hassle, the postage and all that kind of stuff. It is an absolute pain in the ass.
And Facebook time wasters.
Facebook time wasters are just a nightmare, especially for parts. I think I'm going to go with a 2 terabyte. If I can reach it. So yeah, it's a Crucial P3. It's only a Gen 3 drive, so it doesn't really need any extreme cooling, and it is a 2 terabytes, as you can possibly see. So I think we should go ahead and stick that in. We are getting ever closer to the magic. I am quite liking the idea of the 4080 going in there though. Ah, this is where we come unstuck because there is a screw missing there. So I have to raid my screw box and see if I can find a M.2 screw.
Got a screw missing, you have.
Got a screw loose. Is that him? Yes. So I need to find a screw for that. And in my my messy jar, there is a bag of screws. And let's hope that one of these fits the bill. Looks like I might have to restock with those then. There's not a lot there. Actually, I wonder if... Ah, I know what I did last time. My magical screw box, I'm pretty sure there were some screws in here which were M.2 like in nature.
But you can't see them.
But I ain't got any peepers on, so I can't see them. Is it one of those? No, I don't think it was. I'll try one of those, that might do it. If that fits the thread, I'm going to go with it. No, it's way too big. I'm sure I had some smaller ones. What have I done with those? Or am I looking in the wrong place altogether? Probably.
No, I'm laughing at something I was laughing with my mum about. Just suddenly thought of it. Remind me to tell you later.
Okay. Nope, I think we're going to draw a blank there. So what have I got here? There's a tiny little one. I'm not sure what size these are actually. I have to go online, I think, and invest in some more M.2 screws. Yeah, that one works great. Great stuff.
Riley says, don't sneeze, Mike, and throw those screws everywhere.
Yeah, God.
Say my little story of when I was a toddler and I tipped that whole cabinet over.
Yeah, Kath did a very similar thing when she was younger. Her auntie had a cabinet with loads of screws. Or nan. You tell them.
You can't hear me.
Because I'll get it wrong. You're right, have the microphone.
No, you do it.
Kath don't want to speak. Yeah, basically, at her nan's house, there's a cabinet full of all knickknacks and all bits and pieces. She's only little, couple, about 2 or 3.
Right, at 1.5.
Or maybe 1.5, maybe, just to be different. And yeah, she knocked it all over onto a hardwood floor.
Onto myself as well.
And onto herself, pulled the whole cabinet over. And that is why she doesn't like it when I drop screws now, because it reminds her of that and she gets flashbacks.
I don't get flashbacks, no, I get.
So there we are, there's our M.2 drive installed.
Come in, mates.
I don't want those to be overly tight, just so it makes contact. So we've got a RAM, we've got our storage, we've got our CPU. Ooh. I was thinking actually, I have bought some new...
Look at your Rolex.
Why?
Rasher thinks it's a Rolex.
It's not a Rolex. It's a cheapo. It's an OLEVs.
Can't see it.
It's not even focused, is it? It's not a Rolex. If it was a Rolex, I wouldn't wear it, because it'd be worth more than most of the things in the house. What am I looking for next? Nothing. I'm done. Right.
You're welcome, Babs.
Thank you.
I thought you said thanks for me giving it to you,
You didn't. I bought it myself.
but I gave it to you.
Yeah.
And changed the strap size.
AliExpress special. No, funnily enough, actually, it was from Amazon. Amazon do them for about 40 quid. And it's, yeah, it's quite nice. It's not automatic or nothing, but it's, yeah, it's nice and it looks the part. Most people can't tell the difference. I had loads of comments, actually. When I started wearing it years ago, everyone's like, oh, nice watch. And loads of comments about the watch. Like, oh, where did you get that? Which model is it? And it's like, it's just a cheaper from Amazon.
You had another one, didn't you, called Biden for 20 quid?
There was a Biden watch which we had, which was similar, which had like extra faces on it. Yeah, that thing died quite rapidly.
But it was only 20 quid.
But it's 20 quid, so what do you do?
Ratcher was joking, he's got the same one.
Oh, is it? I think, yeah, actually, come to think of it, I'm sure, didn't I post it on there saying about it? Yeah. Right, so the next potential problem is the cooler. So the cooler I want to use is probably worth about 140 quid because it's a nice cooler. And I've just seen today, I posted on our Discord, that Thermalright have got the, not the Aqua Elite, the Prism back on sale at 40 quid for the 360 in black. So I'm debating whether or not is having an LCD screen in the PC going to help sell it? Possibly. I budgeted in for the cooler for 70 quid. But the cooler I've got is worth more than that, but it was a review sample, so it doesn't really owe me anything, but I wouldn't want to part with it for less than 70 quid. So there's a little bit of wiggle room there, but I don't know. So I'll show you the cooler that I'm considering. Which is this one, the Thermaltake TH360 V3 Ultra ARGB sync. This is a really cracking cooler, and they've updated the firmware now for the screen, so you can make it do many more things than what it did originally when it first came out. So when it first came out, this display on here, it didn't actually do, because they hadn't updated the firmware to allow it to do it, but they have since done it, so you can have different displays on there, etc, etc, which is actually strangely better than the one I've got in there, which is the I can't even think which model that is in there, but that's like a higher level model, but it doesn't do the screen thing. So I was hoping the firmware for this would happen to that, but it hasn't. Anyway, I'm digressing. So yeah, should I use this? Riley says yes if you try and sell the PC with an Intel Arc GPU. Yeah. Alvin says use a Thermalright. Well, I would if I had one, but I don't have one here. So stick the watch in there as well. Oh dear.
No, because it takes me hours to change the strap size.
Yeah. RGB and screens turn a PC into a gaming PC, says Model Citizen. I think so, you're right. I'm going to put this in here. I'm probably going to order the Thermalright one, but obviously it's not going to arrive tonight, so I might end up taking this out. Although I'm tempted to list it with this in and the 4080 and see what the responses are like. If I don't get many responses, I'll take this out, take the 4080 out, put a cheaper cooler in, put in the Intel Arc GPU, list the same PC for a much lower price, and whichever one gets more interest is the one that'll ultimately sell. That might be the way forward. Or alternatively, I am still considering buying another one of those if I can get one. I don't want to part with that now because I quite like it, but that was a bargain. I should have bought two of those. That was a rookie error.
That's one of your big mistakes, Mike. You're driving the price of everything down.
I am. I do that a lot. I should just put whatever I want in there and just say, right, it's £2,000. If you want it, if you don't want it, don't buy it. Simple as that. Right, I'm going to stick this in. Primarily because actually I really do like this cooler, but it is taking up space on the shelf. I'm not using it. I have no plans to use it currently. So it's of more value inside a PC and someone actually getting use out of it than it is just hanging around on the shelf. Which, I'm not trying to remember the mounting setup for this. I think it's a slightly unusual mounting setup on this. On memory. Yeah, if only somebody made a video on it, that would be great. I'll leave the instructions to one side because I may well need those. So let's get this back over here. And I'm pretty sure I've got to take those off. So let's go to the overhead again. And we'll take these off. I'm almost 100% sure these have got to come off, but I'm not sure whether I have to use the screws to put it back in. I think I do. Or do I? Mark Barry says, trouble is everyone wants a bargain these days. Yeah, they do. Well, we all do, don't we? It's not entirely out of the question to ask for it, is it? Or to even attempt it. So I'm pretty sure those go on like that. And that one goes on like that. I'm going to check the instructions because it's been a while. Where are we? Installation, AMD. Yes, yes, yes. Yep, that's right. So I don't need those screws. They go there. And I use the ones which are included in here, of which there should be 4. And I can see 3. Oh, there's the 4th. Stick that back in there. Someone needs to write directions for which end of a cold wet fish. Can sell for 2,000 if the listing includes custom built handcraft bleeding edge game PC from world unknown tech YouTuber Mike.
Have a nice holiday, Sky Stalker.
Yeah, have a nice holiday, Sky. On vacation. Tina has plans for us.
Sexy, sexy time.
Have some sexy, sexy times, Sky and Tina. More kids on the way, grandkids, whatever. Sorry, I told you it's been a long day. I wasn't joking, it has been. Right, I don't need that for now. I can put that to one side. And that can go in there. And fittings and fixings, I will need that later, so I won't put it all away. I'll just put it to one side for now. Get those knurled screws out the way. And I think it's almost time to get the case ready.
Model Citizen.
Hey, Model Citizen. How you doing? What has he said?
It's easier if you
Do what?
read it.
What, the can you... I read that.
Oh, did you do that one?
Yeah.
I had to do the cats.
Right, let's go back to the main camera. I will put this to one side. And actually I can start putting some of this in the box. Be nice to sell a PC actually. But it won't be because it's a pain in the ass because I hate selling PCs. Because somebody always wants something for nothing, or they just don't turn up, or they try and pay with like rubber notes.
But it's so obvious.
Yeah. I tell you what, they'd have been better off, or they'd have had more chance if they'd used Monopoly money. Monopoly money would have looked more realistic. Certainly had my spidey senses tingling that day, that's for damn sure. Right, here we are. The pile of excrement that is the Corsair 3200 series. It is really depressing doing this actually, because it is such a shitty case. But beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I think even Stevie Wonder would struggle with this one. Oh, sorry about the aggressive peel there.
He has the same problem. I love building, hate selling.
Yeah. I would, if I thought I could get away with it and it would work out, I would just build it and do it as a giveaway to try and get subscribers and views up. But I don't think we're a big enough channel to be able to get that many views to make that pay off.
Corsair. Oh,
Oh yeah. Corsair. I had Corsair once. Actually, no, I'm lying to myself. I never. Oh, for God's sake, this room is too small. It pissed me off. Do you know what? I was up in the loft tonight getting this case down, and I was in the loft, and it was the sunlight was beaming in through the Velux windows, and I was thinking to myself, this would make an amazing studio. But then I realised it's actually about 1,000,000 degrees centigrade up there, so it probably wouldn't. It would suck. Right, I'm going to take the side panels off now, just to relieve myself of them, and also to not subject Kath to reflecto porn. Getting warm again. Straight. Hiya. Actually, I don't know if the 4080 would even fit in here. There's not a lot of room to work in. So, where do we start then, my lovers? Where do we start? I think I'm just going to put the motherboard in. I was thinking about putting the power supply in first, but let's just put the motherboard in. We'll get started with that. And did I leave the screws in the motherboard? No, I didn't. That was a little bit of a rookie error. That was probably because I was thinking, well, I'm never going to build in this bloody thing. And then lo and behold, what happens? I end up on a stream having to, well, build in the bloody thing. Right, can anyone guess off the top of your head whether or not these are going to be coarse or fine screws? I'm guessing they are going to be fine because I've just grabbed coarse ones. They should be Corsair ones. No. That is definitely not the ones. How many? Who? Matt Levens. People, please help me out. First build, CPU is Ryzen 5 7600. What GPU can I go for? Only going to be gaming at 1080p. If you're only at 1080p, GPU wise, you could go with a 5060 would be nice with that. Or a 9060 maybe. If you're looking a bit older, then 7600 XT, 4060 probably just about do it as well. Maybe even a 3060 12 gig. There's lots of options. I suppose it depends on things like what colour you would like and those sorts of things. And would you, Adam and Eve, it? There is not a single motherboard screw in there. Flipping hell. Need to get my bag of screws out again. Box of screws even. Okay. So, fine threaded screws, which I don't have any of. Why have I've only got loads of coarse ones. I've got no fine threaded ones at all in black.
Hide that case in, or keep it in its box and cut holes in it.
Surely there must be the right screws in there. Is it just me being daft with this?
For me, I would take the financial hit and just throw that case in the recycling centre. Household waste, I believe.
Right, those do fit. This is me being silly. Right, so we are going to be using those. Wow. So let's get that down a bit. Motherboard in. And line that up there. There should be a locating lug just there, which, yeah, it has already popped into place. Good stuff. Great stuff, in fact. Did anybody see where I put my screw? Oh, there it is. Right, let's get some of these screws in. Ooh, they don't feel good. Oh, for fuck's sake. This is what happens when you buy stuff off a YouTuber. They're generally wrecked. So, right, this is a good one actually for demonstration purposes. So if you put a screw into one of these standoffs and it's stuck and you can't get it off, all you need is a 5mm box wrench, which is something which, if you're a PC builder, is always handy to have. I got this Draper one, which I stole from M2 years ago. Well, borrowed. Just never went back. And you can just hold that tight. You can if you want to use pliers, but pliers can be a little bit on the dangerous side. And now that is stuck in there.
This cat's litter box looks better than that case.
Wow.
And that's when it's been used, I expect.
Oh, why does that not want to come back out there now? There we go. Right, what thread are these screws? I'm going to have to put silver screws in, I think, which is going to be rather upsetting. But those definitely do look... Oh dear. Right, let's take that there. I don't know how I've managed to get to the point where I've got so few of those screws. And I don't... Oh, maybe it's in my other screw box. I've got 2 screw boxes just because... Well, why not? Right, I'll go with silver screws. I know it's going to look awful, but... Well, at least it might take their eyes off the case. There we go. Right, silver screws. Let's try one up here. See, that isn't fitting. That's just spinning around in there. There's something not right with these standoffs. Right, let's go back to the coarse thread. Actually, I'm not going to use any of the screws that came with the case. I'm going to just pick out my own ones because I know I've checked them all and they're actually in good condition. So reverse thread until it gets started. Yeah, that's better. Very nice. Bless you, George. Is there even a pillar? Oh my God. I think the pillar's like shorter than what it's meant to be. Oh, for God's sake. Right, let's take this out again. Right. Let's have a look, see what was going on there. Because that doesn't look right at all. No, that is in the right position, so... What the heck is going on?
Are we old enough to remember Tandy in Bath?
Yeah.
Where was it?
In Bath. Right, so that one is completely shredded.
Whereabouts was it? You have no clue.
I remember there being one.
You never went to it.
Right, that one doesn't fit either. Oh, that's a fine screw. Fuck's sake.
That's a fine screw.
It's another fine screw you've got me into. I don't understand why these are like so badly threaded. Right, that one works.
You can't go in there, it's open.
Mike needs his peepers on. I think it is mixed standoffs.
That's open.
Mixed and threaded. So that one's definitely, yeah, that one's bad. So whether that one is threaded or not, I'm not too sure.
Oh, flame, that's cold.
Right, that one's okay. So the top three are okay. That's a standoff, like a locating lug one.
What GPU will you be pairing?
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure at the moment. There's a couple of options I've got floating around in my head. Right, that one is rounded as well. And that one's okay. That's a fine thread. Don't want that one. Somehow I've managed to mix up the fine threads in the bloody other thing. We're going to get there, I swear to God, even if it kills me. Right, that one works now. And I am going to do every single one, because I hate it when people don't use all the mountings. I've preached for too long about that. I've got a sneaky suspicion I've put in a load of screws in there which are wrong. Right, that one's gone in all the way. So we've got that one and this last one here. So I'm going to take this one out. And I may have to recut the thread. Now you don't want to recut the thread whilst it's actually in the board, because you could absolutely annihilate it. So with your box wrench, do it the other way round and get your new screw, and then you can cut a new thread if you need to. So see if we can do this. Not liking it. Yeah, that's not liking it at all. So it's going in better. So kind of recutting it as it goes. So that's got a little bit of thread there. So let's undo it again. Not sure if you can actually see what I'm doing here, but I might try another pillar. Is that coarse? Yeah, that one's a bit better, I think. Yeah, that's better. So that is going to go all the way up to the nub, as they say. This is why whenever I sell a case, and I'm sure Glenn or Dave Aitken or even O'Reilly would testify to this, whenever I sell a case, I always leave the mounting pillars, the original ones and the original screws, actually in there, so they can just undo them, put them to one side and put them back in. And I'm actually going to make sure that they are all tight enough. Actually, they will be, won't they?
Mike P has a set of speakers I bought from Tandy.
Nice. I used to have a set of Tandy disco lights. I thought I was the bees. I thought it was the bees bollocks.
They went with B.
Yeah, sound to light, reactive lights. They were the shit. And they give off so much heat, it was ridiculous. They were like proper old school incandescent screw-in disco bulbs. Each one I think was like 50 watts or something. So there's 4 of them, so it's like 200 watts burning through, playing the music. And we never even give it a second thought back then. Whereas now, 200 watts, if you're thinking of LED lighting, that would be probably, what, 5-watt bulbs? Like 20 of them?
But our electric never went down when we changed to LEDs.
No.
All it did was ruin your eyesight.
Yep. It certainly did.
And make it so that you can't even see anything because it's all too dim.
Yeah, it sucks. Speaking of which, I'm going to put my head torch on to illuminate this a little bit.
Do it, do it. Blinded me already.
There, that's a bit better now. So, a couple of reverse turns. Feel the click. I still don't like it much. Sometimes putting a bit of pressure on the board while you're doing it helps. I did see a board actually a couple of weeks ago where someone had done one of these screws up so tight they'd actually taken the top traces of the board and it was all kind of scarred.
Scuffed like that CD.
It was just scuffed up like my CD.
And your disco light.
Yeah.
Everything was all scuffed up.
The disco lights weren't scuffed up, they were just dusty.
They were just cool, weren't they?
Yeah, I did like them.
What happened to them? When did they get
I think I took them to the charity shop and sold it, not charity shop, the 15, 20, yeah, I traded them in. I think I got like 10 quid from them or something stupid.
Is that when you did the Mega Drive?
I'm not sure. Is it the aerial shop I think I took them to?
What era was that?
Probably about 91, 92.
Because you had them when you lived at my mum's with me, didn't you? They moved there with us. With you.
Yeah, I think they probably did.
But I can't remember them any further than that.
Hey Pac-Man, how you doing? Hi Mike in chat. What I missed, sorry if I'm late. Dog got sick, was dealing with that. Oh, sorry to hear that.
Do you know who that is?
Oh, Pac-Man?
Yeah.
No. Do you?
Loner.
Oh, it's Loner.
Yeah.
Loner is Pac-Man, got
I
it.
knew that
Did I?
previously, yeah.
I must have forgotten.
I didn't think you would remember.
My brain's not.
Mike, question.
Hello.
Jan.
Dutch Jan, hit me with a question. Why don't you just buy a box of 50 standoffs and screws? They cost next to nothing. Well, that is a good idea, but however, not all standoffs are the same height.
Irritating.
Sometimes the standoffs can be a different size, and recently they are better.
Well, just buy the screws.
Kath says, Rick says, PayPal donation.
You now.
That's
you should have that on that iPad.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't.
Alert.
I haven't turned my my notifications on. Hang on, mate.
Look at him with his Apple product. They can't see you. You look like a weirdo.
Touch ID.
I can't see your face, just that strip across your head.
Let's confirm it's you. Oh, for God's sakes. Hang on.
Technology.
This could take a while. Jesus
You know you're on
Christ.
your iPad, but you need your phone to be on your iPad.
I should have just picked up my phone. Oh, actually, there's a couple of your text messages. Shit.
Come on, babe.
I know.
They're not even on the right camera.
Oh, yeah. Something's gone wrong. Jesus. It pains me, it really does. Right, personal account. No, business account. Hey, there we go, from Ian Hutchinson.
Maybe you should put it on the other camera.
£20 for Mike to make a drink. For Mike to make a drink, he looks like he needs one. Looks like he needs to relax. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, O'Reilly. Much appreciated. That's 4th of July.
Let's turn that off and do it again.
Yeah, that is working. Sorry. My apologies.
Another, what you say?
Yeah, hang on, I'm gonna... Oh, for God's sakes, this is obtuse son of a bitch. Right. Thank you. You got the lights on now. I'm gonna have to put my phone here as well so I can see what's going on. Thank you, O'Reilly. Yeah, that's the one. PayPal. Got it. Thank you. Oh, so now there's an email coming as well. Log in from a new device. Yeah. Chance to be a bloody
But
fine
wasn't
thing.
there another one?
No. Couldn't see one.
I'm sure somebody else had their email.
Rick H, if you have done a PayPal donation, we have not seen it.
Unless that is on my phone.
This might be on the Kath's phone. This is now we've got different accounts. You see, one for business and one for personal.
Oh, let's just put the lights on.
We'll just put the lights on and see what happens.
Oh.
Thank you, O'Reilly.
Unless O'Reilly put it above and then Rick just reminded me to look.
All right, if you have a mug on the desk, I think you've got a drink finally. Yeah, there is a mug there. It's hiding. Oh God. Right, let's put my phone onto noisy mode. And ringer notifications. There we go.
So did Rick send one? 'Cause I haven't got it.
Thank you, Rick. If you've sent one, we haven't had it. Or if you're just highlighting us to O'Reilly's. Rick H says, don't try this at home, kids. Mike is professional. It does pain me to say that. Technically, I am getting paid for what I do, so that does make me a professional. However...
Don't keep saying however, it's so irritating.
Shut up!
You've been watching somebody earlier, I reckon.
No.
You've picked it up.
However... if you are a professional and you call yourself a professional, it doesn't necessarily mean you are a professional.
Rick hasn't done one, that's alright.
All right,
As long as
cool.
I haven't got lost.
Thank you. Thank you for not sending. Right. Let's wire this sucker up. So we have some USB-C action going on just here.
Mike is a pro-yo.
Pro-yo.
Tech-yo.
Oh, that don't feel right. Brother, ew. That still gets me every single time that USB-C is like a universal connection, allegedly, but yet it doesn't, the actual connector doesn't fit universally. It only fits one way round. Oh, that don't feel good. This better not be knackered as well. I'm going to beat that some bitch.
You got his B word now, haven't you?
Yeah. It hasn't even got the bloody lug on it either to say which way round is the right way. Assholes. Oh man. This is... I'm glad I didn't sell this case to someone. Because I'd be... Right, that felt better that time. So that is with the 20 gigabit per second on the outside.
USB is universally different.
Yes. Shit, I'm gonna flipping bloody Jesus. Ugh. Tell me it doesn't say it on both sides. No, it doesn't. So that's got to go in like so. Oh, why is this just making me want to cry? Right, that will be the right way round. If this USB-C connection actually works by the time I finish with it, I'll be amazed. Okay, USB-C is done. USB-C is normally the one which is the least problematic. At least it's supposed to be. Right, RGB, don't want that quite yet. What we got here? USB, yes, we do want that at some point. And we do also have the Huda audio. Good old HD audio. You'd think really in this day and age there would be a better way or better place for these HD audio jacks to go. And which way round is that going? I was just looking at that, it's like, I swear those pins are bent. Why did I not check it before? Where's my head torch? Oh man, I am not living the dream. Right, is that bent or is that just my eyes? No, that looks fine. Right, head torch is remaining on. HD audio, blanked pin is there. Yes. Success. And our USB, where's the USB? Oh. Oh no, that's all right. Wow. This is a really unusual motherboard. I never noticed how really unusual this is before. It's actually got 3 USB 2.0 headers on the bottom.
Did you review it?
Yeah. But I don't remember seeing that. I'm pretty sure I probably thought one of them was a COM port, but it's actually got, if you can see, down the bottom here, USB 2.0, USB 2.0, USB 2.0. Which is actually quite good, because this case actually has a USB 2.0 front header, because it's scheisse.
Sky's off.
Cheers, Sky. Enjoy the rest of your break. Right, front panel connection. That feels a little loose. That'll stay in there. Good, good, good. Right, where is the other USB? What's that? USB.
Where's the exhaust face fan?
Yep. It's definitely got one of those. It's just really, really well hidden. Okay, don't want to be concerned with things like that. Oh, I just hate this case. I think it's because I've been so blessed with being able to use a lot of cases from like Thermaltake and the likes. CIT. That this thing now sucks absolute monkey balls. Rasher, thank you very much for your donation. Much appreciated. What's his little joke here? Let's have a look. It's a boy, I shouted, tears rolling down my cheeks. I don't believe it. A boy. And that was the moment I declared never to visit Thailand again. Oof. Thank you. Honorary Dew says USB 2 port is always good for a keyboard or a mouse dongle. Yes, but if they're on the back, these are like internal headers, so not quite as useful. More really pain in the ass. Okay, right, let's drink some drink a minute. Let's hydrate.
Thanks for brownie, did I?
Right. The next potential problem or undecided thing is, I'll turn it off, is the power supply. So I had a power supply in mind, but I don't actually have it here. Now again, because this is potentially going to be an expensive PC, I have got a power supply I could use, which didn't really cost me anything, but is still quite good. Get down! Poppy,
Come on.
go sit over there. Yeah, power supply wise, I've got a couple of options. Now I was, earlier on today, again this is why my brain is a little bit kerfuddled, I was about to take out the power supply from the streaming PC behind me. That has got in there a Thermaltake GF3850, which I actually picked up for a really good deal off a good friend of the channel, Dave Aitken. I bought 3 of them off him, I think, or 2 or 3, from, there was like 10 rendering PCs, which were being disassembled and parts being sold off. This was probably over a year ago now. And yeah, picked it up for a very good price. So I think it's probably like 45, 50 quid, which is really good. And that is roughly, I think, what I've budgeted for in this. However, when I went to take it out and replace it with another model, which I have here, which is down here, which is another Thermaltake GF-A3 850, brand new in the box, I went to put it in and then I realised what appeared that there was no SATA cables in it. So I was about to get onto Thermaltake and have a right rant at them and saying, well, you sent me a power supply and I got no SATA cables. At which point, when I took it all back apart, put it all back in as it was, I realised on the other side of the case, where I'd put some other cables, there was another bunch of cables with the SATA cables. But by this time, I'd taken it all back apart, and yeah. It was not great. So, again, I have got other power supplies here, which have been sent in for review. So technically they don't owe me anything at all because they're just review units. So I have got a 1000 watt, what was it? A Vita from FSP, an FSP Vita 1000, which would actually be fine in here and probably is a good power supply to go in here. And better still because I actually lost the box. So I have got it in just basically a bag. So I think what I'm going to do is I am actually going to put a 1000 watt power supply in here. Which again also, when it comes to selling the PC, it's going to be one of those things where someone's going to be like, oh, 1000 watt PC, excellent. That's a pretty beefy power supply. And here it is in the bag. I'm normally very, very fastidious about these things, but unfortunately it got a little bit damaged due to something on the table spilling, so I threw away the packaging. But all the cables are there, and it's still got the 12 volt high power connector, etc, etc, loads of cables, etc. It's a nice unit. It's a 80 plus gold. However, I think it is a gold. I don't think it's a... Yeah, 80 plus gold. I wasn't sure if it was a platinum, but no, it's a gold. A Vita GM 1000 watt. So I think this is going to be a pretty good candidate. Again, it's actually one of those power supplies which is a little bit on the ugly side, I think, personally. So, yeah, that is going to be an excellent choice for this, I think. We have got another donation from our good friend Mark Gaines. Thank you, Mark Gaines. And let's see if I can actually open the app and see if there is a message. Oh, Touch ID, yeah, I've touched it. There we go. Because we've got two accounts now, personal and private, it's a pain in the ass to switch. But we do it because it's great. Mark Gaines, £30, and it says a little support for the channel. Thank you very much, Mark. Much appreciated. You lovely people. I'm going to leave that open in the background so I can flip to it. I think that'd be a lot easier. Thank you, Mark.
Still log you out.
Happy days. Yeah, it'll still log me out and I'll still have to log in.
Because you
Whatever.
might be using that iPad in the public library.
So, anyway, power supply. I think that's going to be Corsair induced rage taken out on Kitty. Yeah. I think it's just because it's too hot in here. I'm actually melting. Right, what do we need in terms of connectivity? So we're going to definitely need the 24-pin main power, so we'll get that one out for a start. We're definitely going to need a PCIe. I'm not going to put the high power jobby in there. We definitely need a CPU power. PCIe, VGA, we will need one of those for the graphics card, one way or the other. And also we will need a SATA, because the screen, actually, does it need extra power? I've got a sneaking suspicion it doesn't, you know. I'll put SATA in there anyway. It's probably a good idea to do it. Oh, here we go, we've got another ding-a-ling. My ding-a-ling, your ding-a-ling. Oh, it's the same one. It's just the repeat iPhone thing, isn't it? I think. Yes, it is. Technology. It's the way forward. Right, let's plug this in. And it's got slightly unusual connections on here. Well, I haven't seen these since, I think Cooler Master did them like this. They just plug in, and there's like a little latch on the side, so they kind of lock into place. Now, FSP, as far as I am aware, and I'm sure there's going to be someone in the chat who can confirm or deny, I'm pretty sure that FSP are an OEM, so these power supplies will be made for a lot of other people. So potentially, I don't know if Cooler Master make their own or not. Again, maybe someone in the chat can actually confirm that or deny it. Right, CPU is that one there. And we've got our main 24-pin power connector. God damn, I'll be glad when this is done. It has been a long week. And bizarrely, I actually took most of a day off on Thursday because we had family visiting. And oh, I'm doing the wrong end of the cable. Oh dear Lord. The 24-pin shouldn't look like the other end. I was like, why the hell's this not going in? Surely it can't be the wrong cable. It isn't, it's just me. It's just my brain. I need a month off. Right, what else have we got here? So that is our fan wires. I can leave those alone at the moment. So let's put a power supply in. I think that's going to be a great idea. Ideal. Tell me about, Greg says, tell me about this past week. It was a bugger here as well. Yeah, it's just, I don't know what it has been this week. It's just been like various things have come along and just been aggravating. Although I am very happy to say, and I don't know whether I'm going to jinx it or not, but well, whatever. YouTube is actually looking to be a little bit better at the moment. The earnings and the general status of the channel, weirdly, I don't know how and I don't know why, does appear to be on the up, which is obviously a great thing. And it's always a little bit of a worry, especially at the moment when there are so few people watching YouTube because of it just being a shit show in terms of the overall kind of outlook and the economy, etc. But I don't know how, but somehow we've managed to get more views than usual, or like better than we have done, and also the ad revenue's gone up ever so slightly. Now, don't get me wrong, we are not going to be retiring anytime soon on it, but it's nice when after a good probably 6 months, arguably, of it being like decidedly less than it should be, to being at the point now where it's starting to look a little bit more like normal. Like summer, or this time of year, I suppose you can call it summer, is always a little bit of a weird one anyway for YouTube. The views and all that kind of stuff are always quite low. But it seems odd that now that it's become very warm and there's less interest, that the views appear to be actually slightly going up, which is very odd. It just goes to show that when it comes to YouTube, you really never can tell what is going on. Oh, and why don't these screws line up? Oh, shithead. Another 6 months and Mike will be a millionaire. That is definitely not going to happen. Well, I won't say definitely. You never know. Strange things happen in this world. I'd say that's extremely unlikely. However, welcome. I wouldn't mind being a millionaire. That'd be all right. I could deal with that, possibly. Although, strangely, you do hear all these very strange stories, don't you, of people who win the lottery or become millionaires or whatever, and they're just miserable as sitting. Or they end up spending all their money on, like, drugs and women and, like, waste the rest. And, yeah, it's a very strange time for some people. For some people, it's like a curse.
Friends reunited.
Yeah. Friends Reunited. That was a blast from the past, wasn't
They
it?
used to have all those TV programs, didn't they? The Curse of Friends Reunited.
The Curse of Friends Reunited, yeah. The Curse of Facebook. Right, let's stick this in here. This is funny, actually. There's so many holes on the back of this case, you don't really know where is the best place to stick things through. So I'm just going to go for the lower hole. I need to get some of those Meta goggle glasses things, because that would be so easy to put them on here so you could see exactly what I'm seeing. I'm genuinely tempted to get some of those Meta goggles. It's actually, as much as it seems like a weird intrusion thing, but for actually filming in a studio setup, it would actually be really, really good. Very, very helpful indeed. Like, if I was here, you'd be able to see exactly what I see. I wonder how they would integrate with the stream. I'll have to look into that, eh? Meta goggles. Is it too cold for you over there to have the window open?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Absolutely freezing with it open, it's just so windy. It's not on a keyboard, is it?
Right, we have a power cable in. That's a good start. We have one power cable in. It's only, what, 20 past 10. We'll get there. We'll get there. Right, where do I want this one to go? I think... Oh, it's a shame they didn't go through there. I'm sure this cable routing, or this grommet, can actually be maneuvered. Manuka-hunted out the way. I really do dislike this case immensely. I tell you what, it'd actually be worth making a loss on this PC just to get rid of this bloody case. I still can't believe that there are some people in the chat and in the comments and stuff actually defending this case and saying it's great. It's like, what are you smoking? You are clearly a Mars bar short of a sweet shop, my friend. Right. Is there a nice place to take the power for the graphics card? No.
Oh, David.
That's a pretty resounding answer. So I've got an RGB and I've got a PWM. So PWM is going to be for the front fans and the RGB is going to be the front fans. Now, I'm going to need another addressable RGB for the AIO for those fans. So hopefully, if there's one on the bottom here, yeah, there's actually looks like there's two ARGB headers on the bottom and there is one at the top. So that means I've got 3 in total. So I can definitely plug the fans into the bottom one. That's going to be absolutely fine. It's nice to have a motherboard with a few like extra headers. Just the downside is that it's a Gigabyte board. Don't get me wrong, I quite like Gigabyte boards. These ones especially, because they are like really cost effective. Right, so we need to plug in some fans. So where's my torch? Look at this torch. Which header do I want to use for the fans? So system fan 1 is there. CPU optional. This is where, yeah, CPU optional is going to have to be for the pump. CPU fan will be for the radiator fans, and system fan 1 will be for the front fans. So that will go in the top. Like so. So yeah, I think that apart from the graphics card and that whole kind of nightmare scenario, I think we are done in terms of wiring for the bulk of the PC. So there's a little bit of cable management to go on, and we do need to tidy up these wires. I'm still not entirely sure if I do need a SATA connection for the radiator, so we'll check on that now. And we might as well stick the radiator in anyway, because we're kind of at that point. I do think I get a little bit too attached to the parts. Like, I get sent stuff to review, and most things I actually generally quite like. So I don't always like to part with them, but I am acutely aware that we are dealing with a relatively minimal real estate for where we can store this stuff. So yeah, let's see how this fits and how this looks. So I have to kind of decide. I'm thinking I'm probably going to go tubes at the front, or do I go tubes to the back and then kind of coil it around a little bit, because we're not putting anything. Oh, we're not putting anything that's going to be in the way there.
Mike, did you put in the SATA?
No, we're not using SATA. Actually, yeah, there is. That's a good point, actually. Do I need SATA at all? No, I don't. SATA is not a requirement, so that is a good thing. I'm going to have to turn this around so I can see a little bit better about what's going on here. Have you ever done a SFF build, Mike? I have, and I hate them. Small form factor PC builds are the bane of most people's existence. I actually watched a bit of Adamant IT today when he was putting one together, and he wasn't enjoying it tremendously. They are a pain. The nicest small form factor case that I've worked in or used, well, there's two actually. The InWin, was it the InWin A1, I think it was, or the B1? Looked like a little toaster. That one was pretty cool. I like that one. And they're also, yeah,
the little oven.
Little oven.
Microwave.
Yeah, little microwave oven type
Not
thing.
the little round circle one.
Yeah, it was a bit circular, wasn't it?
Sandwich toaster.
Sort of like a sandwich toaster, yeah. It was basically appliance-like. And you could have it either upright or flat. And it has some weird legs on it. That was pretty cool. I like that one. But other than that, the Thermaltake TR100. That's pretty awesome.
And Patrick LaBelle's one.
Oh yeah, the 3D printed one, yeah. I don't really kind of put that into the equation because that is very much like a one-off. I've got a sneaking suspicion that this radiator isn't actually going to fit, which doesn't please me. If it doesn't, I will actually take this outside and beat it to death.
Do it.
I don't think it is going to fit. It's got to fit, surely. Yeah, there we go. And then we'll take that around there, we'll coil it around there, and yeah, I think that is going to be the way forward. So now I've got to try and hold this in place whilst I find some screws, which are probably in here. I think that's one thing actually that this form factor needs to do better, and that is AIO mounting. You'd think by now there'd be a better solution. Ugh, a horrible mounting setup. What we want is magnetic radiators. That'd be awesome. Right, let's just try and get one screw in there at least. That'll do. And fortunately there's a bit of an overhang on this end, so it won't fall down, because it can't, because it hits the fans. Yeah, that's going to be pretty awesome. I hate it so much. I know I shouldn't, but I do. But someone's going to get a lot of enjoyment out of this, hopefully. So, failing that, it's going to sit in our living room for the next God knows how many months. Kev2427, what form factor is it? This case is, strangely, is ATX, but it's a very compact ATX, but not compact in a really good way. It's compact in a crap way. Also, as well, something which I'm thinking about is the fact that we've got that LCD screen. The glass on the side of this thing is tinted really dark, so you're probably not even going to be able to read it anyway. But that is that's a future mic problem. We'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. Looks very tight. It is. Yeah, there's not a lot of room to work with. To be fair though, for most people, like buying this case, you're probably going to be in a smaller, compact area anyway. So it's nice that it will actually fit on a desk without having to kind of take up too much of the desk real estate. But it is limiting, so for larger graphics cards or for an AIO possibly, which might be a little bit large. It's a bit of a shame that you won't be able to put a fan in the back, but having said that, it will probably work in its favour because it can draw fresh air straight in the back up into the fans, which will make them dirtier, but it will improve the thermals a little bit, which is fine. So we need to plug in the USB because it's got an LCD screen, and obviously that's going to need a USB. So I'm just going to run that through now from the back and plug it into the USB header just there. Yeah, hopefully whoever buys this doesn't care about it being particularly tidy, because it won't be. Oh, come on. I swear this case is just winding me up tonight.
It's just what?
Winding me up.
Something is.
Is that a bent pin?
Angry.
Just nothing seems to want to fit. That worked.
Oh, it does.
I'm angry.
Looking across has got angry tonight.
Yeah, I am a bit angry, to be honest with you. I think it must be like PMT or some shit like that.
Yeah. Otis understands.
Right, we could do with some thermal paste on this bad boy, and then we can get this all hooked in as well, and get all that connected up, and then we can take it for a test boot. I'm not too sure, is that going to be...
48 going in there.
I don't know. I was umming and ahhing about it, but the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm not liking it. I'm thinking now I should have done... Actually, no, I can't do the tubes the other way, can I? Because they would hit the fans. So I've got no choice but to do it this way. Actually, that'd be alright once the side panel's on. This case would be the death of me, I swear. Let's get that down under there. Honestly, Corsair, I have no idea what they were thinking when they put this thing together. Oh, and have I lost it? I've lost the thumb screw now. What have I done with that?
screwdriver somewhere. By the end of your phone.
Ah, no, it's gone under the case. It's alright, don't panic. Right, let's get some thermal paste on the go. Ah, actually, I have a new tube of thermal paste arrived this week. I'm actually saying that. Why bother? Thermalright, or Thermaltake rather, Freudian slip, actually have included some. So, we might as well use that.
You must have loads of little things like that.
Well, I normally give them away with the PCs and stuff. Let's put a few blobs on.
Oh, you're on the block. Remove the sticker.
Remove the sticker. Yeah, remove the sticker, definitely. Who said remove the sticker?
Alpha Indigo.
I'm glad you said that, Alpha.
Remove sticker, add thermal paste.
Bit dirty on there, actually. Let's get some isopropyl alcohol. I don't think it's going to be particularly terrible for it, but it just looks a bit grubby. Perfect.
Single fan AIO pump.
Sorry, the what?
I don't know. It says it is single fans AIO pump.
Is it a single fans AIO? I'm not sure what they're asking there. Is it a single fans? The top fans, those ones there, is a single monoblock. So there's like a 360mm fixed 3 fans, and there isn't a fan in here of such. Just the screen, which you actually probably didn't see very well there, did you? So the screen is detachable and rotatable, depending on which way around you actually need it. And I don't know which way it goes around now. Where's the Thermaltake badge, if there is one? Well, there isn't one. Whatever. I'll put it that way. We'll probably end up moving it anyway. So I think we can now splodge that in. And actually, we do need to remove that, don't we, to put this into place. And we'll just pop that over there. And if I lean that back a little bit, hopefully it'll stay in place. And you've got these massive knurled screws. So just do them up hand tight. Kev, what are the specs going to be? It's in the video description for most of it. However, oh fuck, I said it again. The CPU was undecided. The memory was, I've not listed the memory because you can't buy memory anyway. And the storage was unlisted. So we've got a 2TB NVMe drive, Gen 3 × 4. That's a Crucial P3. The processor, we went with the Ryzen 7700X. And the, sorry, I'm thinking and doing stuff at the same time. It's not really panning out for me. The, what did I say? Yeah. Yeah, the RAM is a Crucial DDR5. It's just a generic Vengeance kit, 5600 megatransfer speed, and it is CL36. Graphics card, we're still undecided on. Potentially, I could put a 4080 in here just to get it sold, because someone probably want the 4080 and then just scrap the PC. But I don't know. I'm unsure what to do. I have got an Intel Arc B580 to go in there, which was my initial kind of consideration for this. Oh, is that going to hit the graphics card? Might do. Yeah, this is going to be an absolute shit fest. I can see it happening. Oh well. Yeah, so there's many things which are somewhat undecided at the moment. Things could all change very quickly, depending on what somebody wants to pay and the mood I'm in. Ideally, the whole like ploy of this really is to try and get rid of this case. The rest of the stuff I'm actually like pretty happy with, but the case just sucks so much ass. Right, so CPU fan header, that is in the middle there. To be fair, when this is all done up, buttoned up and tidied up, it is going to look pretty amazing.
Some glitter on that turd.
The turd is going to be glitter acid. Oh, shouldn't be mean. It is a shit casing. I don't mind. I'm quite happy to call things out. What Corsair were thinking with this, I have no idea.
What kind of madman puts the pipes for an AIO at the back?
A madman that's got no choice. If you can think of a better place to put them, please let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to take on your suggestions. If there is a better solution, I'm very interested in hearing it. But without getting out a Dremel, that is not going to happen. There we go. Right, so that is everything connects up there. Yeah, the reason why we can't do the pipes or the tubes at the front is because with the overhang of the radiator, you physically can't do it because the fans in the front are in the way, and you can't move those any further forward, so those are kind of as they are. You could, I suppose, remove the top fan, but I don't think that would do any benefit, and it certainly wouldn't do any benefit in terms of the overall aesthetic of it either. So yeah, it's this way or nothing. To be fair, even in the old Series 500 that I had behind me, I used to always put the tubes to the back on that, and yeah, it was fine. No, there's about 3 or 4 millimeters of room to drop. They already are actually. I think I dropped them anyway. Yeah, they are about 5 or 6 mil dropped from where they should be. There's about roughly a centimeter of room, and I did already drop them down kind of as far as they would go. It's on the lowest screw setting at the moment. You can slide it like up to kind of here. The fans are just about there. So yeah, about a centimetre. It's not a lot of room. To be honest, it would have suited me to be able to do that, but yeah, wasn't to be. Now, which way round? I would love to be able to put this on and know that it's in the right position the first time, but I don't think that is going to happen. There is a slight mark into it, but it's the same on every angle. So it's a 50-50. I'll just leave it there. I was looking at the peel to see if that would have any bearing on it, but it really wouldn't because I put the peel back on. So yeah, it would have made no difference at all. So I think the next thing to do is graphics card. And I'm not going to put the 4080 in for now, because firstly I didn't put the right cables in for the 4080 anyway. So I'm going to put the ARC in. Which actually, bizarrely as well, this is also one of those kind of purchases which I would really like to see the back of. I thought it was kind of cool to get the Founders Edition, but I don't know. It's still a cool card, and it has got a reasonable amount of power for it, but the power draw versus the power it gives leaves a little bit to be desired, in my opinion. Smells nice though. Yeah. I am going to keep an eye out. Ideally, I would probably like to put a 6800 in here, or perhaps a, yeah, probably a 6800. I think if I can get one at a good price, or maybe a 4060. I don't think I'm going to get a 4070 for anywhere near the right sort of money. I really want to keep this to around about £1,000. I think that is where it needs to be. And if I end up having to wait for someone to pay that amount of money, then I will do. Because the thing is, realistically, the longer I wait, the more the RAM's going to be worth, and the more the storage is going to be worth. So, like, if I have to hang on to it for a few more months, then, like, well, so be it. It's actually in my interest to hold on to it. I do need the room, but worst case scenario, I'll just stick it in the loft, or just take it apart and put the case back in the loft, and yeah, whatever. I'm in a rather fortunate position, thankfully, that I don't really need to get rid of it, but I would like to get rid of it. GPU support bracket on this is actually pretty cool. And actually that looks pretty slick. You reckon? The tubes are going to look a bit weird, but just squint your eyes a bit, it'll be fine. Now, where did I put that other? There we go. I haven't got matching thumb screws. There's a thumb screw missing from this as well when I got it. I'm glad I only paid the postage price for it. Although, arguably, I still feel like I got a little bit ripped off. And the stupid thing was as well, there was quite a few different cases I could have chose from. It was PC centric because I'm having a clear out. And there was a bunch of different cases available. And I thought, well, I'll just go with this one because no one else has asked for it. And I've seen reviews and it seemed alright in the reviews. I wasn't convinced, but for postage price only, I thought I'd give it a shot. And yeah, it was one of those regrettable decisions. I shouldn't say that really, because it was very kind of them to do it, but yeah, it is shit. In my opinion. Someone's obviously going to love it. And someone obviously does love them because they still sell by the absolute truckload. Which still blows my mind. Right, where do I want the power cable to come through? I wonder if I can get it to come through in a straight line behind the power supply. That would be awesome, but also unlikely because there isn't a big enough gap there to... Oh, actually, maybe. I spoke too soon. Can I squeeze that through there? Yes. This is the scary bit, because with power supply cables, like if you get it through one way, that's great, but if you can't get it back through, you are in a world of hurt. And there's nothing worse than having to chop a cable because it doesn't fit. But that goes through, so that's pretty good. Unfortunately, it's got the pigtails on it, which is a thing these days. Lots of power supplies have the pigtails on, so it's not the end of the world, but it would have been neater if we didn't have to have that. Fortunately, we only need one of them, so that is fine. And where are we? Buy this PC, comes with some beer goggles. Yeah, 6700 XT, that would be alright as well. Those are always around the sort of £200 mark. Well, quite often they are. So how can we make this look a little bit nicer? Be careful with your comments. Actually, saying that, it doesn't look that bad. If I haven't turned it on yet. A little bit of cable tie goodness there. And I can pull that cable back through a little bit. Try not to get too much of a kink on it. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. Where's my snips? Snippity snips. These snips, I've had these since I worked at M Squared. So I would have bought these in about 2001, 2002. That was one of those times where I was feeling generous. They had these, it was like a multi-pack set. So you had like a plastic vacuum formed molded like shell thing, and there was a couple of screwdrivers, a couple of socket set bits, this, and I'm not too sure what else. Like a very small kit, toolkit, and they were like £3 each, these toolkits. And I think it was at like Reggiani's or something, which is, if you ever come to the Bristol area, Reggiani Wholesale is basically like an Aladdin's cave of cheap and cheerful tat. And we used to buy blinds and stuff in there. We kitted out our entire house of blinds for, I think, somewhere in the region of like 20 quid. But they sold blinds, like Venetian blinds, like the ones we pull up and adjust on the sides. They were like £2 each or something stupid. Insane. And they look great. Well, at least I thought they did at the time. They probably didn't. Anyway, I move on. Yeah, but I bought these, and these snips I've used in almost every YouTube video I've made. I've always used them for cable ties for the last roughly 25 years, and they're still working great. Amazing. A little bit of useless trivia there, which you really didn't need to know, but whatever. Right then, let's try and do some cable management on the back end of this. Which is probably not going to be the easiest of things to do, but we will attempt it. Ugh. Right then, overhead view. So, what have we got?
That still there. It's like if Temu had a walk-in warehouse.
Yeah, yeah, it is. That is exactly what it is. Yeah, Reggiani's is basically Temu on steroids.
Next week's video stream titled Troubleshooting the Polished Turd.
So, who's that with no confidence?
Crypto.
Ah.
No, is it? No, a minute. Yeah, it was.
Oh, good. Right, that'll sit in there, that's fine. I'm not going to go too crazy with the cable management here because potentially you might be swapping some bits out anyway. But really I just want to tidy the cables up a bit just so that I can get the back panel on. Actually, I need to order some more cable ties. Put that on my list, Kath. Order cable ties. Oh. The last lot I got was from my old workplace. So we go in there. Right, so what have we got here? Ah, still got another ARGB to go in. So actually I should have done that first, really. It's actually impressively light, considering there is quite a lot of stuff in here. Blimey. Got that on the ARGB cable first try. Oh, that one as well.
Who's the manufacturer of the snips you've been using? I don't think they got a name on them, have they?
I think they're Rolson. I'm pretty sure it's either Rolson or like Blue Point, possibly. I'm almost certain it's Rolson, because Rolson do all those like cheapy ass tools. Right, this isn't going to be overly pretty, but it will be functional. I managed to mess that up. David Under says 9060 XT 16 gig is the only choice. In that price category, yeah, it probably is. Although saying that, the 5060s are starting to come down in price a bit, which kind of changes things a little. Actually, I'll run that down through there as well. This is arguably one of the worst cabling jobs I've ever done. Just bunching it all together. But like I said, this potentially will be getting a bit of a rejig anyway at some point. So. Probably more than I'll get from someone trying to buy it. Right, that is the spare cable of the Thermaltake.
Harry wants to know what is wrong with the case during the video.
There's many things wrong with this case. I would strongly suggest, if you haven't already, have a quick look at the video that went out on Friday or Wednesday. I'm pretty sure it was this week. Yeah, would have been Wednesday. And I went through it in quite a lot of detail. It's a Corsair case which they are trying to charge 70 or 80 quid for, when the reality is it's like a 40 to 50 pound case at best. Some, I guess you would argue, maybe even less than that. Right, that's a mess, that's fine. I'm happy to live with that, that's okay. Again, like I said, there's a very strong chance that this is all going to be stripped down and changed anyway. Depending on what a potential customer may wish to tweak or change. There we go, let's flip it over. I suppose we could put the like this thing on the top. What is that even all about? That just looks absolutely awful. Just nasty ass dust filter. Pac-Man. Done, send it. What did Pac-Man say? Pac-Man, question, Mike, you ever look how far PC have come? No more ketchup and mustard wires, no fan control knob and temp screen. I only miss a few things back then. Yes, there is that to it, actually. The complexity of a modern computer is, yeah, pretty... There's a lot going on, and if you think back 20 years ago, roughly, we still had like fan control knobs. We barely had cold cathode tubes to light up PCs. Most PC fans weren't controllable at all. They just ran off the 12-volt Molex connector or directly to a motherboard, and they just did their own thing. Power supplies didn't have any kind of real safety ratings to them. I don't think 80 plus silver or bronze or anything like that was even a thing back then. PC power supplies were very, well, scary, really. It was a very, I think it was quite an exciting time, really, because everybody was just doing stuff literally by the seat of their pants. No one had a real idea of where everything was headed, and when things like the internet came out and all the stuff that happened along that era, it was just, yeah, it was absolutely mad. From the mid-90s right up to kind of the early 2000s, it was just insane. Like the evolution and the stuff that came out, like obviously the internet, what a crazy thing that was. It's still kind of, yeah, scary. Like back in the day, like printers, a color printer, whereas now it's hard to find a printer that isn't color. Like you get the occasional like laser, which is black and white, but most of it these days is all, it's all color, isn't it? Color inkjets. And the speed that prints come out these days, when the printer actually decides that it wants to work, that is, generally they seem to get a bit of a piss on, don't they, and say, nope, I refuse to print, no idea what you want. Oh, hang on, what's that I'm throwing away? I just started throwing away parts there. If I do throw away any parts, then that'll be it. I give up. Right, I think we are pretty much at the point where we can turn this sucker on. Which would be excellent. Let's see if I can find a power cable. I'm sure I got one here. Ah, Mr. Aitken, how are you doing? Good to see you. There we go. This is where we plug this in, and nothing works, or it just goes.
Bang!
Oh, I've got the windows open. Okay. Oh, it appears we've got some. Okay, well, it's kind of on, but I don't think it's meant to be. And that can come off of there.
Bang!
And go back on there. I don't understand why all the RGB is on in standby when I've just turned it on. Maybe I turned off ERP. I think I might have done. Oh well. Let's press the button and see what we get. See, that doesn't look too bad. I'm almost pleased with that. Almost. And where did I put that other bit? Oh, something didn't sound healthy then. There we go. That's just doing some cycling there. Did I turn the Thermaltake thing around? I did, didn't I? I didn't guess it straight away, did I?
No, you did. It took it up and turned around just now.
Damn it. Whee! Intel Arc LED is on. And I'm guessing the boot light is on at the moment. We should plug that into the OBS and see what is going on.
I think this phone across the room is going to be on in a minute.
Might need to do that update. The Wi-Fi fix for the iPhone. Sounds like a plan. What app is it? Right, let's go to HDMI input. I'm not sure what LED that is. Right, let's do a reset. And turn it back on again. See if we get a signal. Hello. Hey, there we go. New CPU installed, FTP corrupted. Press S. Well, I'd love to, but I haven't got a keyboard and mouse connected, so I cannot do that. But it works, which is good. I like it when things work. So yeah, the red LED means that it's in the BIOS screen. So yeah, that is effectively fine. It works and it's actually not too noisy. The fans obviously do need tuning, etc. But we can definitely do that. Try to power off and see if the RGB goes off. Yes. It does. Yeah. That actually, I'm going to come around the other side. I'm pretty sure that looks better than I expected it to. So it's not too RGB overloaded. So you've got a little bit of RGB on the fans there. And on the side. And also there's some on the side of the... also some on the side of the pump as well. And obviously you've got the RGB fans in the front, which give you a little bit of illumination as well. But it's not like blasting your eyeballs out with RGB, and you have got that absolutely glorious Thermaltake screen. There you go, you can have a closer look. These are quite bright now. Come on. There you go. Splash screen. So yeah, I think that's not bad. Not bad at all. Actually turned out better than I thought it would. That looks, I'm not going to say the word sick, but it looks quite nice. Put the side panel on, which goes that way round, I think. And see if the RGB effect is still reasonable. Yeah, those tubes need a little bit of work, don't they? But yeah, it's still quite visible. To have those come around there a bit more, and that'll swoop down there. Should be okay. Or I can try and get them to, I might even cable tie them down there a bit. Down by there. Put some cable ties down by there, and that will kind of train them a little bit to stay in that position. Yeah, that'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yes.
On a manure barge.
The screen has got a protective film cover over it. I've left that on there. Trick and Tip Master LBGTQ flag on screen of AIO. I don't think it's necessarily that, but yeah, I know where you're coming from with that. Right, so lots of packing up and packing away to do. That is a better idea. So pump screen clearly visible. Yeah, I think it's going to be a nice looking PC when it's all done and dusted. And I might even, I'm trying to think, do I need to do any Windows 11 installation or setup videos? I haven't done one for Gigabyte motherboards for a while, so I might do that in the fan setup. And what else could I do on that PC? That's true these days, because there's not a lot of like overly exciting stuff to do videos on or comment on or anything. It's quite difficult trying to work out what videos you could make. Some things are quite evergreen, like fan control videos and stuff, because they're always slight changes which people are interested in seeing. But yes, we will see. I should just throw that out really. In my thermal paste bag. I did buy some new thermal paste and it arrived this week and I've got no idea where I put it. I could have swore I put it in here. Ah, is that it? Yes, GD9000. Very silvery. It's not brilliant, but it was like pence to buy from AliExpress, so I thought, why not? Sorry? How much is the July the 4th Bold Eagle build going? Well, it's in its current guise as it is at the moment. I actually got the pricing up on the wall, so let me grab that a moment. Close it if you want. So, the CPU I've priced in is at $150. The motherboard I've priced in as £100, which is a fair price for one of those. RAM I've priced in at $250, so slightly over what I paid for it, but not outside of the realms of what it costs these days. The case I've priced in at £30. The SSD I priced in at $70. However, oh fuck, did it again. I do need to change that, so let me get my red pen. And I'll make a slight adjustment there. So the SSD, I did have to put TBC. So it cost me, I'm sure it's 120, but I'll say 125 just to give me a little bit of a fighting chance, just in case. The GPU, I think was about 270 I paid. So I can reduce that down a bit there. I'd say, I think if I got 250 for the GPU, I'd be happy. And not massively, but there you go. Power supply I've priced in at 50. I probably should say closer to 70 because that is brand new and it is a decent power supply. Fans were with the case anyway. The cooler should be, I put 70 there, but I think it really should be 100 because it's 150, 140 to buy, 130, something like that, so I'll say 100. And Windows, I'll take that off, it's only £5, so I'll do that for free. So now I need to calculate that. Actually, let's do it the old-fashioned way. So 150, so 250, 500, 530. Oh god, I've got lots of things to do now. 655 plus 250, so that is 905. Is that right? 905? Yeah, 905. I haven't done arithmetic like this for a long time. 875, 1075. Yeah, so realistically, with the 2 terabyte drive in there, the spec as it stands, with that GPU, which is going to be the sticking point, I know, realistically I'm going to have to sell for, I think, £1,100. There is my pricing. Lead Farmer, how many cards have you had in the past years with coil wine? Arguably all of them. Coil wine is a difficult one. Like, I think all cards will have coil wine if you push them hard enough. Some of them are down to the power supply not giving enough and not keeping up with the GPU and the frames per second. If you are sensible and have like frame caps, then you generally won't get coil wine. At least it shouldn't be too bad. I've had a couple of cards which have had coil wine at their kind of 165 hertz or 165 FPS. 1 or 2. It's quite rare. But if I say, for instance, like the 4080, if I benchmark that using something like Unigine Heaven, which is really easy to run, that can get like 700, 800 FPS, in which case it's going to whine purely because the frequency is pushing frames. If you're using it with like 200, 300 FPS, it generally be fine. Crypto says 1200 delivered. Sounds like a plan. Call it 1100, says O'Reilly. I'll call it 1100, and at least with that, if I say 1100, if someone wants to knock me down and say, look, I'll give you £1,000 for it, realistically, I know people are going to be like 600. It's like, why are you even doing that? Like, clearly you know nothing about what you're buying. It does annoy me actually when people do that, like really, really stupid lowball offers. Like if someone come in and said like, would you consider 850? I'll be like a bit pissed, but I'll still be like, well, no, the RAM and stuff, like break down the cost and say, look, this is what it costs. I got deals on this stuff and this is what it cost me. So like, I'm not giving it away. Well, I probably am, but I'm not going to be like losing on it. Yeah. So yeah, you know what it is. O'Reilly says, I'd be lucky to notice core whine. My frame caps are 60 or 120, but I game with headphones, so I'm likely to hear the whine over the noise of a game. Crypto says, £700 and a bag of Haribo. D-Battac, hello Mike, it's 6 AM here in the Philippines. Good morning to you in the Philippines. Lead Farmer says, just mention it's new, not used, no low offers. Riley says it's £600, give them the address of the CX and tell them to build the PC themselves. Yeah. Rasher says, you can't spell advertisements without getting semen between tits. It's true. It's absolutely true. Oh dear. Crypto says, sounds like we have a deal. Well, we don't. No chance. Right. I think that is pretty much it for tonight's stream. I've got some packing away to do. No doubt you, if you're in the Americas, have some celebrating to do. Although, how far ahead or behind are you? Is it like 8 hours behind? Or are you 8 hours in front? I never get that one right. I always remember 9/11. The day of 9/11, I was watching the news, and it must have been either 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, watching the hourly news.
It's 2 o'clock here.
And it was on that.
There.
So yeah, it must have been 9 o'clock there. Yeah, so they are behind. Or are they a day ahead?
No, that's Australia.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Australia's a day ahead. We're in the middle.
They're tomorrow world, aren't they?
Yeah. 6:14 says Lead Farmer. So what? 6:14 PM. So that's only what, 5 hours behind? Oh, Crypto says East is 6 hours behind. Okay. Yeah, I suppose taking into account British summertime, because we're an hour forward at the moment. So normally we'd be an hour back. So technically it's 10 o'clock here, but it's not. It's 11. It gets confusing. O'Reilly says 5 to 8 hours behind depending on DST and BST. Rick says 8 hours behind. It's 3:12 PM here for me. David Underhill, get in there. Since DJT became Prez, the US is 200 years behind. Aussies are 10 hours ahead. Oh dear, that's good. Like that. Okay, right. Yeah, we're almost exactly 3 hours into the stream, which is probably a good time for us to call this to an end. So thank you all for your kind contributions, those of you who donated. If you haven't already, please drop a like on the video, and also please just share the videos. That really helps. I know some of you are sharing the videos, and we do massively appreciate it. If you aren't in a way to financially support us at all, which I completely understand, if you could watch a video, leave a like, leave a comment. It's all great for the algorithm and it massively helps out the channel. And if you do it in numbers, it certainly helps the videos get shown to other people. Although potentially this particular stream you may not want to show to other people because that case was an absolute horror. However, I knew she was going to look up at that one.
You keep saying whatever as well.
Whatever, however.
Both of them.
I think,
Swappy.
given how much I dislike the case, I think it actually turned out quite nicely. And if you're watching this as the video on demand, let me know in the comments. And also for those of you watching now, let me know in the comments. Honestly, did you think it turned out better than you'd expected? I, for one, will say yes. I thought it turned out actually nicer than I thought it was going to turn out. It's by no means beautiful, but it certainly isn't horrific. I don't think anyway. Let me know what you think in the comment section. So, I think that's going to wrap things up. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing. Oh, hang on.
What about next week?
Oh, yeah. Next week, potentially there might be a stream, but if there is, we probably won't have prepared anything for it at all. We've got some family stuff to deal with in the afternoon. So, depending how long that takes to do, potentially we may be back. It might just be one of those kind of ask me anything, chat along streams. So, just so you're kind of aware of it.
There may not be one.
There may not be one if we get back late. So just warning you, if for some reason we do get back late and there isn't one, we will try and do something maybe possibly Sunday or...
You know you won't, so don't say you
will. Probably won't, but yeah, at least you know. Anyway, I'm Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Have a fantastic 4th of July, and yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Bye! Say bye, Kath.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, where's my thing gone?